comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. You ain't built for a skirt as a nigga can be. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for ya. It's gonna sound like here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Betting News Network. This is the Gridiron Gang. Excited to have you with us to kick off your Sunday every single Sunday because the NFL is back, baby. That is Trizzy Betts. That is Jess Sook. That's Vsauce. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. So stoked to have you with us right here on the channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you're watching us on Twitch, if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're kicking with us on X, thanks for stopping by and kicking it. Boys, we're fucking back, baby. Let's go!
So back.
We are so fucking back, boys. Sunday morning and we're hungover. Football's back.
And we hit the Saucy 4 the other day. Come on now. We are so fucking back.
Come on now, baby. Let's go. We're so excited to have all you guys with us, man. We got so many ghosts in chat all over the place. Thanks for kicking it and hanging out with us. If you're watching us on X, thanks for being here. But just to tell you guys, a way better viewing experience over here on Twitch. It's still free to watch. Twitch.tv/betting news. We're going to be doing a giveaway today later in the show, and all you can do to win is be in our Twitch chat. So come and hang out with us. We appreciate you watching wherever you're tuning in because the vibes are high. Football is back. Brought to you by our sponsors at Bet Online. You guys can get involved with everything and bet so much today and so much more in the NFL season with Bet Online. You can get that QR code right there with the code BNBOL55 for a 55% bonus when you sign up and get involved. Go check out our website as well at bettingnews.com. These goats have been busy all week writing all about all these games in the NFL. We go live every single day right here on the channel. Housekeeping out of the way. Let's talk ball. Super stoked to have all you guys with us in the chat, man. We'll have Chef T with us in just a few minutes. We're probably gonna have Chef for most of the show today, boys, which is pretty exciting. But vibes are high. If this is your first time being here, thanks for stopping by. You're gonna have a kick-ass time. to lead up to kickoff. You don't need to go anywhere else. You don't even need to turn on CBS. You don't need to watch Fox on NFL. Right here, we're going to have it covered for you guys. We're going to talk about some fantasy football. We're going to go game by game. We're going to break down the analysis and give you guys what we like in every single game today. And if you're just joining us as well today, you get a chance to come up and pitch your play in the chat. You'll have a chance to come up here and tell us who you like to score a touchdown today, who you like to win a game, whatever your favorite prop is. You'll have a chance to come up and give us the vibes as we get rocking and rolling. Okay.
Oh, W housekeeping.
Boys.
Thank you. W housekeeping. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Excited to have all you guys with us. Yeah. Facts, right? W, A. Let's go. We'll talk about the dub later. This is totally football. We've been waiting 4 months for this shit to come back, and now we got it rocking and rolling.
Of course. Everyone, drop all your plays in chat. Keep going.
All the plays. We want all the plays, all the vibes. If you have questions, feel free to do that. We read the chat all the time. So if you have anything you want to ask us as we're talking about a game, anything you guys want to do, get involved. Like I said, if this is your first time being here too on Twitch or YouTube, give us a follow, subscribe to the channel. We go live every single day, talking sports, vibing out with you guys. I think you're going to have some fun if this is your first time being here.
Multiple times a day now.
3 times a day, baby, most days. And we're doing this show every single Sunday to get you guys ready for kickoff. So excited to have all you guys with us, kicking it and rocking and rolling. Boys, all right. Anything else you guys want to say? Anybody want to drop any excitement before we get rocking and rolling, or should we just jump straight into it, baby?
I just want to talk football. That's it. I just want to talk football.
Yeah. I need to get a few units back from UFC yesterday, but no better place to do it than the NFL.
Just leave him in France, big dog. We're back in the United States. We're all good. We're back. All right. So what we're going to do, chat, we're going to start the show off with a little bit of some fun. This is your weekly reminder from me that you need to go start and check out your fantasy lineup. Go set your fantasy lineup if you have not already. This is the perfect time to do so because this is stud or dud. We're going to talk about 3, a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a running back that are ranked really highly, and we are going to talk about whether we think they're going to have big matchups and good days today to kick off the vibes to start us off. So without further ado, let's go straight into the quarterback. Stud or dud? Mr. Jaden Daniels, the number 2 ranked quarterback on ESPN this week. Last season, you guys saw what he did in that fantastic rookie campaign. 69% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, almost 900 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. Today he's taking on those Giants. We'll talk about that game in a little while. But, boys, who's got some thoughts? Who you guys think? What do you guys think? You think Jaden Daniels is going to start off today and we're going to get that same performance as we saw last year? Or do we think that he's not the number 2 ranked quarterback going into this week? What are we thinking?
Maybe I'm insane, but I think that this defense on the Giants side has gotten a little bit better. Last year they were without Xavier McKinney because of the trade or because of the Packers signing him away from the Giants. This year they've added Abdul Carter, one of the most touted rookies, especially on the defensive line in a long time. I think he's going to have a significant impact. And I don't know if Trizzy agrees, but you and me have talked about this, Sook, SPJ. We think that there might be a little bit of regression due for this Washington Commanders team with how good they were last year, the way they won games last year, right? The whole 1-score game stuff. I understand clutch gene exists, but you had to have a lot of things go right last year for you to get where you were at. To me, I don't know. I'm going to probably start him if I've drafted him because I probably drafted him pretty early. But if you've got a better option this week, I think that there's a couple.
Yeah. Go ahead, Triz.
So I think Jaden Daniels is going to have a better day throwing the ball than he is running the ball. I think that Commanders offense is going to struggle to move the football on the ground a little bit. If anybody on the rushing side for the Commanders is going to have a good game, I think Eckler is very sneaky this week. All I see is anybody talking about that the rookie that I think it's like
Corey Krosky Merritt.
I can't say his name. Krosky Merritt or whatever. All I've been seeing is that guy's name everywhere, but they're paying Eckler a lot of fucking money. Like a lot of money. That dude is the starting running back over there. And I feel like people have kind of forgotten how good he is just because he's hurt a lot. And he's good enough for them to trade away Brian Robinson, still on a rookie deal. So I think he's going to get the ball today a lot. There might be a lot of dump offs. Like I said, I think Daniels is going to probably have a better day in the air than he is on the ground.
I'm glad you bring up Eckler, Trizzy. I have a lot to say about him later on when we get to the slate rundown. But yeah, I agree. They paid him a lot of money. They traded away Brian Robinson Jr. not to let a rookie they drafted in the 6th or 7th round come and take over.
Isn't it Chef that loved playing Eckler's rushing and receiving last year?
That was me.
It was because it was so low every game, right? It was like 37 yards rushing and receiving. It's crazy. This dude was like the fantasy MVP 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like,
do you guys hear my desk just like pounding right now? Because I'm already on this. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but don't think you guys knew that. But
we're so back.
We're so
back, baby.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing. Can somebody explain to me what the 6-7 thing is? I've seen it everywhere, and I have no idea what it is.
Okay, like, I think it's that guy on who does YouTube content. His name's like Destroying or something. He was a college wideout, and then I'm pretty sure that he was like on the sideline, and he's like, I'm all 6'7" of me or some shit like that. When comparing, I know it's a song. 6 foot. Is that what you're talking about?
I
don't know.
No, I don't think it's the Lil Wayne song.
I don't
think it's the Lil Wayne song.
We are official. Principal Skinner. We're not the problem. The children are the problem.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know what the fuck this means. Dude, what?
Yeah.
This is like MySpace all over again.
Yeah, it really is, man. It really is. I'm getting too old.
I'm going to save us, and we're going to move on. Let's talk about the running back position and stud or dud. Let's see. Oh, we all agree? Do we all think if you're starting if you have Daniels, you're starting him, but maybe he's not going to be the number 2 quarterback, depending on how you feel about
Number 2 is insane in my opinion. I think he'll be top 10, but like 5 to 10 range, not top 5.
Yeah, I think 20 plus points probably, maybe 20, and like on the dot,
Yeah,
from a fantasy quarterback, what really more do you need? I feel like quarterback's one of the more interchangeable positions in fantasy because as long as they're not having a terrible day, they're probably going to score about 15, 20. And let's say the best quarterback of the day, how much are they going to really score? 30? It's not that much of a difference,
Yeah,
I mean, tell everyone that has Dak Prescott in their lineup this week that.
Shut up.
I
definitely do.
So do I. Every time CD dropped the ball, I was like, this motherfucker, man. All right, let's move to the running back position. Very interested to hear y'all's thoughts about this. Stud or dud? Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, there's been a lot of news about him, whether or not he's going to play today. He's still a question mark, but it's looking like that he is going to play for the 49ers in the late window against the Seahawks. Number 3 ranked running back on ESPN on your fantasy lineups. Only played 4 games last year. 50 rushes for 202 yards and 15 receptions for 146 and 0 TDs for Mr. McCaffrey. Triz, I know you're probably kicking yourself looking at this graphic. We've talked about this a lot leading up to today. How are you feeling with somebody that has CMC in your lineup? Do you feel good about it? Do you think he's going to have a good day if he ends up suiting up?
So I was very worried at first. Very worried. That calf is very worried. Then I heard him in his little interview after Friday's practice, and it kind of sounds like a pump fake. It kind of sounds from his touchdown has creeped down from -150 all the way down to -110, and I assume it's because nobody's taking it because everybody thinks he's hurt and he might not actually play. I would not be surprised if he still goes for 125 rushing, receiving, a touchdown. Lighter game for him, but still 20, 25 points. That's why I took him at 9. Way too much value. When this dude is healthy, he is the best player in the league, in my opinion. He is the best, like overall player in the league. He is the most game-changing player in the league when healthy. And from what he said, it sounds like he's pretty healthy and it's more just precautionary type of thing. And everybody's saying, oh, well, he didn't practice and he had limited the day before. Malik Neighbors hasn't practiced in like weeks and he's going to play. When you're that good, I don't think they necessarily need you to practice every single day.
Like the Stafford thing.
Like anybody, he's one of the,
he's got
it's not like it's his first year. Yeah, it's not his first year on the team. He's been in the offense for a long time. Like he knows the playbook inside. Why does he really need to be out there practicing just to stay loose? I mean, he did that anyway. They had him run drills to the side. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think it makes that much of a difference.
I will say this, not to come in and be Debbie Downer, but this was the same rhetoric that we saw last year with CMC say, no, like he's ready, that this is normal with an injured player. And I get it. Stafford is Stafford, right? It's similar, but Stafford is also 100 years old and a quarterback. just a guy that hasn't played in preseason or really done training camp in a few years. He's not the guy that is worried about timing, that is worried about the play calling or necessarily the blocking schemes, things like that, in the sense where CMC needs to be. And I will say there's a huge difference of him doing stretches and kind of dynamic stretches even on the sidelines of practice versus actually being between the tackles. And I mean, like Trizzy said it, he got him at 9. That was great value. And if you have this guy in your lineup, it's week 1. This is the time to put him in the lineup and see what happens. But man, oh man, like Trizzy, the touchdown, the way that it moved, maybe it's because nobody's betting them. Maybe it's just my Trizzy hat on that I have all the time. That feels insane to me, a minus 110 price for Christian McCaffrey, right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels weird. I don't want a situation gets in there for 1 to 2 drives, all of a sudden sees a flare up. I don't even want to put that out there. Let's get a full 16, 17 game season from CMC and watch him do the things that he has done to defenses for years.
Well, like you said just before Sook talks as well, like the reason we talk about this with fantasy is as week 1 right now, we don't know his injury history. So you kind of have to just take that out because you could talk about that with any single player in the NFL of like they could get hurt at any particular moment. And that can't really go into your cap too much. It can with CMC because of what's led up to this today right now. But I was looking at his touchdown price last night too. There's a couple of other touchdown prices that don't make any sense. At the end of the show chat, we will cook our Gridiron Gang touchdown parlay as well. So we all have legs that we'll throw in there too. But I mean, minus 110 for this guy to score a touchdown could just be the most free bet of all time. Like he could score on the first drive and you're looking and going, wow, I should have taken 2+ for plus 300 or whatever the fuck it is. Like it's one of those situations, but I see the trepidation. I think if you have him, you're starting him. So do you think the same thing? How do you feel?
I will go the other way. I am not going to say that he's going to be a dud because I also drafted him in our league, our betting news league. But I am worried. We've talked about this pretty much on all our preview videos, our Gridiron. I'm high on the Seahawks. I do believe that they're going to be a good team this year. They did not draft a lot of defensive players, and they were very good on like borderline top 10 in nearly every category, and then broke into the top 10 in sacks. So I do think that this defense is going to be pretty good. Obviously, McCaffrey, if McCaffrey has a dud, he'll still put up 60 yards on the ground, 20 yards receiving. That's how good he is. Like you guys said, he's a game changer. But I am a little wary of him today because I do have that plus 550 ticket to the Seahawks to win this division.
I think this is a situation where this is a buy low spot for CMC. If he gets hurt, if he doesn't play as much, you can just chalk it up and go, yeah, all right, fair enough. But like you're getting sick value on him, which we'll talk about that when we get to this game a little bit later. But like you're getting great value on all of his lines, rushing, receiving, his touchdown, like you guys just talked about as well. Like if you think that CMC comes back and plays like the CMC we've used to see over the last couple of seasons, wrecking games, you're getting sick value, which there's a lot of value all over the board today, boys, on props, especially because the books just don't really know right now what teams are going to play what players as much.
But are you guys scared isn't? Because it's a calf? Like, does he have the explosiveness that he needs?
We're going to find out.
I feel like that's why they're being careful because it is the calf. And again, is it the calf or was there a little tightness? Oh, okay. Like we're about to play on Sunday. You're a veteran of the league. You know the offensive playbook. You don't have to practice anyway. And Shanahan's like an evil genius. If you mark him questionable, now the Seahawks, which again, divisional opponent, have to make 2 game plans if he's going to play the full game or if he's not going to play the full game and you're going to see a healthy dose of Brian Robinson. So
the fact that it's a calf is why it's worrying to me because, again, he's a guy that had bilateral calf tendonitis last season. And that's just something that doesn't happen normally. Tendonitis is not something that is a bilateral problem. It usually happens on one side or the other unless there's some kind of deeper cause to whatever the fuck is going on. He's also a guy that went and had an unsanctioned surgery somewhere, I think it was in Europe, that wasn't sanctioned by the NFL, right? He came back from that surgery last year looking like he was going to play the entire season and then didn't play a snap. I don't want to be Debbie Downer. I just want to present both sides of the argument because I'm definitely not invested in CMC not doing well for our betting news league. Not at all.
Yeah, sorry, we also it might be an unsanctioned surgery, but I mean we know about American healthcare. There's reason people go other places in the world to do.
I agree with that. Like, I agree with the shitty American healthcare. But This is experimental surgery, not so much a lack of healthcare here. But you get
what I'm saying now.
I hate it.
We have a lot more rules and regulations in America, whereas if they can do more experimental things, that might be very beneficial. We just haven't started doing it over here yet. You don't really know.
I mean, Toby went to Germany every single offseason in post 30.
Oh yeah. Trizzy, man, we talked about the vitamins, brother. They got all those vitamins across those other places that we ain't got here.
Brazilian vitamins in the UFC fucking slap.
I forgot what I think it was a UFC fighter. He had major back issues, and he went down to Mexico to get almost that same exact treatment. It's like a stem cell treatment where they inject something, and he was really like fine going forward after he had that surgery. So I don't know. I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it all the time. If you have like a big issue, Joe Rogan went down to Mexico and get the same surgery. So, and he talks about how it really helped him. And I don't know. So,
not to derail us further, but Mel Gibson claims going to Panama and getting stem cells in his dad saved his dad's life and extended his life like 5-10 years.
Stem cell, like the
stick around, bro. We'll get there.
Are fantastic. It 100% works. You see a lot of growth. Literally, the only reason that doesn't happen here is because where stem cells come from. But again, that's a separate.
FJ is trying to keep us on track.
Yep.
Trying miserably.
This is why we started a half hour earlier.
Chad, if you tuned in, hey, you guys tune in for this type of banter too, though. But the greatest part is we have so much time today, and we will be going literally every single game with you guys, giving you plays in every game. So we're just talking some fantasy stuff to get the vibes moving, and then we will be jumping into every game. I knew making this graphic that this was going to cause a bunch of discourse because of everything in association. And just to tap this off, boys, he's the 3rd ranked running back in ESPN this year. Like, for this week. So they think that he's going to come out and he's going to cook to start the season, So we'll find out. Let's go to the wide receiver for Stud or Dud to wrap this up. Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 4 ranked wide receiver this week, going against these Green Bay Packers. Exactly, Austin. This is going to be a very interesting year for Amon-Ra. Obviously, we talked about this Lions offense a lot. 115 catches last year, 1,200 yards receiving. I didn't know he had the most touchdowns of his career last year when I was making this graphic. 12 TDs last year as well. V, I'll let you lead us off since you're the Packers, man. We'll talk about the game a little bit later. Are you scared of Amon-Ra today? Do you think he has a chance to be a stud, or do you think that he's going to be a dud?
I am so scared of everybody on this Lions offense. It's either going to be insanely good like it was last year and they're not going to lose a step after the loss of Ben Johnson, or it's going to look completely like crap and dysfunctional like they're bringing in a brand new system that's not working. I'm hoping it's that one, but if I'm being honest with myself, Amon-Ra, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, J-Mo, you put those guys on any team with any offense, and it's hard for me to believe that it's not going to fucking work, right? So I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think that the Packers are going to come out pissed off. Home opener, week 1 at Lambeau Field, divisional game. This is a division that you went 1-5 against, including 0-4 against this Lions team and this Vikings team. Big reason they went 0-2 is because of Amon-Ra and how well he played in those games and how he loves to torch the Packers. I don't know if you guys remember, but remember this was the same guy that came with the fuck Green Bay hoodie to one of their games. Like, it's absolutely on site every time they link up. And because of that, I think you absolutely have to start this guy. I think 12 touchdowns was his highest last year. I think he could surpass that this year if the offense is as good as it was last year. He's only gotten better every single year. His hands have gotten more secure. His route running has gotten better. And guys like Jamo on the offense and even a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs in the passing game, which I'll talk about later, have really opened up the offense for Amon-Ra and allowed teams to not kind of just double team this guy. And that's why I like this Lions offense despite hating this Lions team.
He's going to
be going stud then, I guess, eh?
Absolute stud.
Word. Boys, you guys agree? Anybody think he's going to be a dud today? Or are we feeling pretty good about Amon-Ra at number 4?
Absolute stud. The one thing that worries me might be the yardage. Just take the receptions. Last year against Green Bay, I think he had like 56 yards, but he had 7 receptions. So if you want, obviously for fantasy, absolute stud. I think he's going to have a great game if you're playing PPR. But if you're betting on him, I like the receptions. What do you think, Trez?
You just took the words right out of my mouth, man. You really did. I think he's going to be that safety blanket for Jared Goff, as he always has been. But I mean, I have two really good friends, Sick Money and Kev Cassidy, and they're massive Lions fans, and they have put me on to JMO is completing his route tree. For the first couple of years in his league, he's kind of just been that deep threat guy where they throw that long ball to him. And this year, he's kind of going back to his Alabama ways where he's just running actual routes. I think he's going to become more of a complete receiver this year, and I think that kind of affects Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra's like productivity, so to say. So I'm big on JMO this year. As you said, I think Amon-Ra's receptions are a lot more safe than his yards because he's always going to be that safety blanket for Jared Goff. Short yardage situations, you need a first down, you're going to just lean on Amon-Ra to route somebody up and get open at 4 or 5 yards. So I like the receptions there, but I'm big on JMO this year.
If you guys have not checked us out at bettingnews.com, it's a free website. We post all of our picks and plays over there as well. We did our first week 1 staff article this week, and boys, it was dope putting it together because we got like 14 picks in there, which is rad. And our friend John Slop from Slop Rules on Twitter, his favorite play today, boys, was JMO receptions, 3.5 minus 105, which was crazy line, man. For a guy like you just mentioned, expanded route tree. This offense should probably still hum. Even if you think the Green Bay Packers are going to be good defensively, it should be a fun game. So, yeah. All right, there you go. Go ahead, Tris.
There's a reason the Lions paid him like a top wide receiver in the league yesterday. He got a bag yesterday, and he got a bag like he's one of the best receivers in the league type of bag. So there's something behind that.
You guys smell a JMO touchdown, maybe? Goats are muted, V. Goats are so muted. Mute count at 1 to kick us off.
No, he did it twice. Back. He already did it once before, but I didn't say anything.
Nah, you let it slip, so I was going to say nobody said anything the first time.
It's 2.
There you go. There's 2. Over under 3.5 mutes for B. The chat is live. Let us know if he thinks he's going to go 4+ for Vsauce muting himself in the next hour and a half. There we go. What are you going to say?
I was just gonna say that fuck Detroit. I said something nice earlier when I was muted, but since I was muted, I'm not repeating it. I'm just gonna let it lie.
Okay. Well, maybe press that mute button again then. All right. All right, chat. Let's go. Drop a dove in the chat if you guys are excited for football coming back, baby. The vibes are high. We got a huge day today. That was some fantasy stuff. Go again. Last reminder: go set your fantasy lineups. Go get involved. Go check it out. All right, let's talk, boys. Let's dive in. Let's go game by game. Let's get after it. We now have time to do this. We didn't really have time to do this expansively last year, but now we go and do it this time. Let's get after it. Let's get after every single game. We talked a little bit about this one earlier, but let's just go ahead and kick us off here with this New York Giants game, taking on the Giants, taking on the Washington Commanders. The over-under is set at 45.5 in this game. And chat, as a reminder, please drop your plays or questions as we go with each individual game. We will touch on every game, so if you have a question in another game, save it in the chat, and we'll try to get to it. +6 for the Giants, one of the most bet spreads I did see on the breakdown of the money from a money perspective. Washington might hang in the 6 there. The money line for the Giants, nice +226 value. Before we kind of talk bets and stuff in this one, Triz, I'll let you kick us off. What's your kind of takeaway going into this game? What are you looking at kind of preliminarily before we talk about what we like in this one?
The total is what caught my attention. Right off the rip, the total caught my attention. Divisional game, and they went past a key number of 44. It's at 45.5 now. I have seen it tick down a little, which kind of worries me. But at the same time, this Giants defense got a lot better, but the secondary is still the same. And as we were mentioning with Jaden Daniels when we were previewing him, I think he's going to throw the ball around a little bit today. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game kind of sneaks over a little bit, right? Maybe the third quarter, the fourth quarter, this game just kind of goes right over. So I like the over in this game. I think both offenses are going to probably score a little bit. The Commanders' defense last year was kind of Swiss cheese.
The over hit in 12 of 18 of the last games for the Commanders, Triz.
So, like I said, the Commanders' defense, specifically the secondary, was kind of Swiss cheese last year. I didn't see them get too much better on that side of the ball. You got Russell Wilson throwing the ball now. I don't know how far that goes, but I do know Malik Neighbors is a generational talent and will most likely get open. So I kind of like the over there. I don't know if I'm exactly going to play it, but that's what I was looking at when it came down to this game. As you mentioned, Giants the most bet spread of the day at 6 points. not a number I really would like as an underdog. So again, if I'm taking a team, I'm laying it with the Commanders, thinking they're probably going to roll week 1. But I think the smartest bet in this game probably to take the over.
Before you boys talk about this game a little bit further, I just want to get my bet out of the way just because we've talked about him so much now, and Chad has dropped it too. So I am on Austin Eckler in this game over 47.5 rushing and receiving yards. You talked about it earlier, Triz. I bet this a lot last year, and they just haven't moved the line. He's still RB1 for this team. He is very good out of the backfield, so Gerald dropped the receiving yards at 22.5. If you want to go that direction, feel free to do so. But I do think he's going to get a healthy amount of carries. No B-Rob anymore. They do have a bunch of guys behind him, but like, this is Austin Eckler. He was a second-team All-Pro player for the Chargers like only 3 seasons ago before he got traded, and I think that he still has a lot left in the tank. This is an offense that Cliff Kingsbury, isn't it? That Cliff Kingsbury likes to move around. Yeah, I know. Move around the wide receivers and the running backs out of the backfield. I think there's plenty of opportunities for him to get this. In the 2 games last year against the Giants, 42 rushing yards and 41 receiving yards. And that's when he was technically RB2. So 83 and 85 rushing and receiving yards in both games against them last year. The rushing defense for the Giants last year was 27th in the NFL. I know they've bolstered that unit, so I think they should be a little better this year. But I love this line. This is a line that you guys should put on your radar for the entire season. They did not adjust it last year, and I think that's going to be one of those situations where we get something again from Eckler as well. Nothing wrong with taking the rushing by itself, the receiving by itself, whichever way you want to do it. But I agree with what you guys were saying earlier. I love Austin Eckler today. I think it's a good ladder spot too, and his touchdown looks tasty as well if you want to go that direction.
Yeah, I completely agree, SPJ. You got a better line than I did, but I did write about this play in my Giants piece this week. I think it's going to be a fun game. It's a divisional matchup, and I think that there's a reason we're seeing a lot of divisional matchups here in week 1. The NFL wants to put everybody on notice. These are going to be some good games. We got a few boring games last year, some snooze fest. I just think that's not going to be the case. We've seen 2 good games already, despite the little break we had on Thursday night that kind of killed some momentum, but we've had some fun, exciting games, and I think it's the same today. Eckler has been fantastic out of this backfield. 49.5 is the line that I got, and I'm not going to sell him anymore. He did a great job. I do have one more play in this game, and it's my boy from LSU, Malik Neighbors, over 69.5. And I know it's now been 2 years since they played at LSU together, but let's not forget this offensive core that played there. It was Jaden Daniels under center, Malik Neighbors on one side, and then Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side. These guys all played together, and it shows. If you look at Malik Neighbors' last 2 games against the Commanders last year, he had 19 receptions on 28 targets. He finished with over 200 some yards. He had 1 touchdown, and this is a guy who was playing with Tommy DeVito last season.
Imagine Danny DeVito throwing him the football.
He might as well have
Tyler Murray. The same
thing. Drew Lock, you got Danny Dimes, and then Tommy DeVito as your 3 quarterbacks last season. This guy still had 1,200 some yards, 10 touchdowns, and looked like a top 5 wide receiver most of the season, all without a real QB1. I can't wait to see what he's got in store this year. I'm on the over 69.5 receiving yards. I am also on his touchdown in the touchdown piece. But again, peep the scribbles. You get the full breakdown. I just love Malik Neighbors today.
Yeah, this is a discount, feel like, for sure. Yeah, it'll be all right. Boys, do you guys have any other thoughts on this game? Do we like anything else? Our man, Danny Burke, does like the Giants. He got an early number on this one, so he's on the Giants side of things, kind of leaning with that direction. Triz, you said you like the over. So do you have any plays in this game or anything you like before we keep it moving?
No plays in this game, but I think Tyrone Tracy is going to have a good year. I drafted him in a couple of leagues that I have, and I got laughed at a little bit, but I do think last year he was an older rookie. Now he's already 25. I think that he's going to be a serviceable back this year for sure.
Yeah. I do think the Cam Scatterhoo hype, not that he's not good, but it's a little bit overblown in the sense that like Tyrone Tracy was great last year.
There's a pecking order in the NFL. That's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I think they're different style
sucks.
Yeah,
and they're still though.
Well, and also you got the, like Trizzy was saying, this Commanders defense was last year. They were okay. They were fine. They weren't really good, and they got exposed quite a bit sometimes as well. So I think that there's an opportunity for that again today. So here's the last line.
Double digits winning totals since the 90s, bro. I don't think they're gonna do it again this year.
Okay.
All right.
Just before we move off, though, it was like glanced over a little bit, but Eckler anytime touchdown is a play today. He is the same price as Jaden Daniels for an anytime touchdown. And he didn't have many last year, so there's got to be some reason behind that. And again, with his receiving upside, I think his receiving upside and how good that Giants D line is this year, how mobile Jaden Daniels is. If they're within the 10, shotgun, a little bit of scramble, a little dump.
Come walk with me. Chat, come walk with me. Walk with me. In about 2 hours, you're going to turn the TV on. Scott Hansen's going to be talking to you. And you're going to look up, and Austin Eckler is going to be rumbling in and scoring the first touchdown for the Washington Commanders today. Mm-hmm. I have a cup of coffee on Austin Eckler to score the first touchdown for the Washington Commanders today. I think that is they get the ball first, drive straight down the field, and I think that he has a chance to score first. You can obviously just take him to score a touchdown, plus 145, but I'm going first TD as well for a little sprinkle. Anytime, and let me see what the value is. I just got it earlier. First team. Go ahead.
I saw 2-1 on Eckler this morning on a green book.
Okay, for just anytime.
Anytime. Same thing with Daniels. Daniels anytime 2-1. So was Eckler's 2-1.
Well, there you go, chat. You can go ahead and clip that later when I look like a bozo, or if it hits, you can say how smart I looked. Either one. There you go, Triz. We're on Eckler. Let's go. All right. Yeah, facts. There it is. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's move to the next game. Let's talk about this interesting matchup here between the Bengals. Are they looking to finally have a good week one, or are the Browns going to play spoiler? +5 are the Cleveland Browns in this matchup between two teams that know each other very well. Over-under set at 48 on the line by our friends at Bet Online. Cleveland money line +200 if you're feeling frisky on buying some Brown stock to start the day. Boys, interesting game, interesting lines here. The Bengals notoriously shit the bed to start the season. They notoriously shit the bed last year. Everybody and their mother had them in their survivor leagues last year to go after week one, except V, because V's smart. And they obviously shit the bed. Do we think that the Bengals have a chance to right the ship to start the season after playing in the preseason? What are the vibes? Are you feeling good about the 5 points?
Bengals cover, right, boys?
Go ahead, sir.
I was just going to ask you guys. Bengals cover, right?
I think you absolutely have to. Back-to-back years, you have missed the postseason. You finished 9-8 despite a wicked finish to the year. These are the games that matter. It might be the Browns, but it's a divisional matchup, and divisional records count. You cannot do the same bullshit you did the last 2 years. And funny enough, 2 years ago when this old trend started, who were they playing on opening night on the road? The Cleveland Browns. So it's time to right the ship and start a new chapter with this team going forward.
Mm-hmm. Enough is enough. You can't get off on the wrong foot again, right, Triz?
Nope. No, I think the Bengals fucking roll today. I think you can alt spread this, honestly. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think you can take this up to 10. I really do. I think Bengals -9.5 today won't be much of a sweat. I really do. I think they roll, man. And that's nothing against the Browns either. That I take the Browns completely out of the situation. I think you could plug and play a lot of the different teams in the NFL today against the Bengals, and they still roll. I think game one, they're going to come out hot. You got everybody healthy, entirely healthy. Offensive line is what it is. Joey Burrow has proved that he doesn't need an offensive line to be good. So, again, I think they roll today. I think Joey B throws 300, 400, tosses a couple tutters. I think Chase Brown has a day too. I really think the Bengals roll today. I think that's one of the easier plays of the day.
Let's go.
I mean, speaking of tossing a couple tutters, T. Higgins, anytime touchdown, +130. This is a spot that I like a lot. We've seen how him and Jamar have worked well together, and it's why I'm on both of them today in different ways. I got Jamar over 83.5. I got T. Higgins for the anytime touchdown, and I'll give you the quick pitch. Joe Burrow, Joey B. This guy almost won the Triple Crown last year for QBs, and that's something nobody ever talks about because it's not ever really done. He is a guy that had Jamar Chase, the Triple Crown winner, the best wide receiver in football. And I think that, again, this year, like Trizzy said, their defense sucks. The offensive line is probably still just as bad. What are you going to do? You got to put up points. So give me T. Higgins to get in the end zone. Give me Jamar Chase to get at least 90 yards. Over 83.5, I think, is a great discount that we're not going to see a lot this year. It's week one. books are kind of hesitant to set lines too high. So I'm going to try to take advantage with Jamar Chase and then T. Higgins to get in the end zone.
Let's go.
I like everything you guys are saying. Our man Adam Kaufman, who's the host of Any Given Wager, is on the Bengals as well. He had that as his play of the staff article. He likes the Bengals a bunch, so he's on the same side as you guys. I'll just play devil's advocate for a second, just to throw some color for the Browns here. This Bengals defense still sucks ass, even though they did get Trey Hendrickson over the line, so he's going to be in there. But this defense, especially from a passing perspective, is not very good. So I think there is value if you want to take some Brown stock. Our friend John Slop is on David Njoku's receiving yards. I really like that play as well. Yeah. 47.5, 50 plus feels very comfortable for Joe Flacco's favorite target last year. Jerry Jeudy's coming off one of his better seasons as well. And again, I know the Bengals hype. I get it, and I'm with you guys. I am. I think that they should win this game by a touchdown or more. But what was the one team that we talked about going into the season? One of the two teams that we talked about that could be the worst team in football?
Browns.
The Browns and the Saints, right? So why are they only okay, fuck off. Why are they only 5-point dogs? I know they're at home, but like the line feels a little sus to me. I think they win. I think the Bengals roll. I think this should be easy money here. But I do think that this defense is really not very good still, and I think that that's going to rear its head at some point throughout the season, and maybe we see it some in week one. Joe Flacco gets back there slinging the pill a little bit. So I could think it could be a fun over game as well if you want to maybe target the total, which could be a fun way to take this if you don't feel comfortable with the spread. I don't want any beans in this game except for props, but I feel like that's just to throw some color for you Browns fans out there and just to give a little bit of so it's not a total panel moment of, Bengals roll.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up too, because I am on this total. I took over 47.5 this morning. It was 48.5 yesterday. Again, we'll go off of key numbers and totals: 44, 47, 50. They had no problem in a divisional matchup bringing this over 47. Now they're letting the public bet it down, but the books know what they're doing always. I like how it was at 48.5. I don't care that it's ticked down a point. I think this game is going to soar over. I necessarily think the Bengals are probably going to be the reason this game soars. You know what I mean? But that Bengals defense is Swiss cheese, like you mentioned, and they're probably going to give up 14, 17, 21 points and just, cover the rest of the line themselves. So I am on the over 47.5 in this game.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that too. Go ahead.
Can we just please hope for no more bozo bullshit from this Bengals team, because they are my survivor pick this week, and I do not need that kind of bad juju to happen 3 years in a row. Please.
That is risk. I remember you saying this the other day. I mean, they should win this game, boys. They played in the preseason. They have just heard it all for the last 2 years on how terrible they are to start the season, how terrible they are to start the first month of September. Like, it's got to end, right? You got to think that they come out and they just put a shellacking on the bad Browns team, right?
Right.
I don't know. When you got to add right at the end, it just makes me feel so sus.
All right, there we go.
Before we move on from this game, boys, do you guys remember last year we had rules around here? If it was under 30 yards receiving for Patty Freiermuth on the Steelers, and we had another guy, we had rules. He's playing today. It's 20 and a half.
Yoshiwas.
Yeah. Are we taking it? It's 20 and a half.
I mean, you tell me, Slick. That's your boy.
Yeah, you made these rules, so are we following your rules you just made?
Oh, yeah. We're taking Andre Yosivas for 20 and a half, over 20 and a half receiving yards. Honestly, super talented guy. T. Higgins and Chase Brown, Jamar Chase get all the headlines, rightfully so. But this guy is talented, and he can get this in one catch. Don't take his receptions. Take just the yardage.
If Joey B's throwing for 300, man, there's more than enough to go around.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And I mean, Yosivas gets forgotten because of the amount of attention the defense has to play on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
All right.
So
half unit deployed.
Question: the Bengals signed a tight end, no?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember seeing them sign him and being like, "Yo, Burrow's going to make him good."
Noah Fant, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Noah Fant.
Yes, Noah Fant. He could be a little sneaky today too. I'm not going to lie. Mike Gesicki has been the tight end. Maybe not a ton. But yards, receptions type of deal. They still have Gesicki over there, but again, Burrow kind of revived Gesicki's career last year. So I think Noah Fant still has some promise as a tight end in the NFL, so I wouldn't put that past today. I don't know exactly what the line is. I just thought of that as we were talking about it right now. So I think he's going to be more the receiving tight end than Gesicki.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams nowadays use 2 tight end sets a lot, which is why you see a lot of teams have 2 serviceable tight ends. But Gesicki and Fant are 2 different type of tight ends. Gesicki is more of a pass-catching, route-running tight end, more of an athletic type of guy who can block a little bit. Fant's bigger, more of a blocking tight end, but can also run routes and get you that as well. So they'll be utilized differently in the offense. So it doesn't mean they can't both be successful, which is kind of how offenses are evolving in the NFL nowadays too, which is why a lot of teams, maybe the team you follow has 2 tight ends. My team has 2 tight ends that they're going to deploy differently, yet still utilize both of them. The depth chart on tight ends is not as cut and dry as, well, he's tight end 1, so he's the best. Like not everybody has a Brock Bowers, right? So it's a little different. So we all like the Bengals on the spread. If you're feeling good, Danny, it's a nice play. It feels like the move if you want to take it. We talked about some props in there as well. So, and Trizzy likes the over. I feel more comfortable with the over personally, but I think the Bengals is probably the move.
Yeah.
48 and a half in an AFC North matchup. If that doesn't scream at you, I don't know what will.
Yeah, this game could soar. All right, let's keep it moving, boys. Guys, how happy are we right now?
Back, baby.
So back, Chad. I know. Chad, if you guys are having a good Sunday morning, kicking it off with us, the vibes are high. Let's go. We're going to keep it rolling through the rest of the slate. As a reminder, if you're just tapping in with us or if you've been here the whole time, you'll have a chance to join the show at any point throughout a little bit later. If you want to drop your favorite plays, you can keep dropping them in the chat as well. We will cook a touchdown parlay at the end of the show too, so stick around. We got a lot more to get to. Let's keep it rolling, boys. Let's go to this. Steelers taking on the Jets here in New York. The Steelers coming in as 2.5-point favorites on the road. The Jets at home plus 2.5. Money line for the Jets plus 130. The over-under a little bit lower than what we just talked about at a measly 38. Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers here to kick off. We got 2 new quarterbacks coming into this situation. We got Aaron Rodgers on one side, Justin Fields on the other. I don't know how to feel about this game. Don't have major thoughts. Sauceman, I'll let you kick us off here. What are you kind of feeling with this Jets and Steelers matchup?
Honestly, it feels like a revenge game, but for both sides. I know Fields only played 1 season with this Steelers squad, but in that time he went 4-2. He won a majority of the games he played in. He looked kind of mid, but he scored a lot of touchdowns, and he threw 4 touchdowns to 1 interception. So you can't say that he was bad, right? But maybe he wasn't the guy you wanted starting under center come the postseason. But that's exactly why we are taking him to get in the end zone today at plus 230. Ooh. Boys, over the last 4 seasons, only 3 QBs have more rushing yards than Justin Fields. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the only 3 quarterbacks with more rushing yards than this man. And this guy has only started 45 games. This Jets offense and this Jets coaching staff has made it very clear they're going to be a run-first offense. They're going to play hard-nosed football, and their offensive coordinator that has come over from the Lions has talked about tailoring this offense to Justin Fields' strengths, something no team he's played for has done yet. Do I think the Jets are going to be good? Probably not. Do I think Justin Fields is going to have a career year? Maybe, but the bar is set very low. But do I think he's going to get into the end zone today for plus 230? I absolutely fucking do. So give me his tutty at plus 230 against the Steelers defense at home at MetLife in front of the home crowd.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. I have a little bit of a sneaky play in this game. I feel like a lot of people have forgot about this guy. Roman Wilson, 15-plus receiving yards at plus 110. I think that is way too low. Way too low. It's because the guy didn't play all year last year. I feel like we forget he was a early second, late first round pick a year before. He didn't play all last year, but again, Mike Tomlin's pretty tough nose. Maybe he was just trying to get him to learn the offense, earn your stripes type of thing. But again, he's the 3rd receiver in the lineup today, and Aaron Rodgers over his career, you've seen him favor guys like Alan Lazard, his slot receivers. And at the same time, Roman Wilson's going to be running wild over the middle, or again, bring up to play off of Sook's play with Freiermuth. Could be Roman Wilson running off the middle a little bit. He's going to be that quick, short yardage receiver. I think 15 yards is way too low. I think this line's going to jump way up after this week. Next week you'll probably see Roman Wilson's yards at 40, 50,
8.5
something like that.
Some books, Triz.
Yeah, I was just looking on a green one, and it was 15 for like plus 115 or something like that. I think that play is really, really sneaky today. I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about Roman Wilson and just how good he actually was. That doesn't go away. I think his game's going to translate well to the NFL. He just hasn't had his opportunities yet. And a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who likes that quick, short pass, is probably going to get the most out of it.
He loves route runners.
And Roman Wilson is a great route runner. Great route runner.
Dude, that's a deep cut, bro. I was not expecting to talk about Roman Wilson today. Chat, do not let that get swept under the rug. That 8.5 yards could be literally the airiest of all air. Or he doesn't get targeted at all, and it doesn't even matter. But, like, that's one of those you got to just tap the button and feel like you can look up and have 20 yards and you're chilling. So to kind of go back to some chalk, though, on the other Wilson, on the other side of things, I don't have a bet on Garrett Wilson today, but 49.5 feels very low for him. And I know that Justin Fields is obviously very erratic as a passer, but they do have the connection from their college days. It's one of those situations where I feel like that this 49.5 could not exist the rest of the season, depending on how this plays out. So I like the 49.5 rush receiving yards for Wilson. I also like his receptions as well. I think it's 4.5. You know that Justin Fields is going to want to go out there and get the guy the football, even if they throw him 5-yard outs, bubble screens, whatever. 4.5 for minus 130 is what I'm seeing right here, right now. So I have him on my fantasy team. I like Garrett Wilson a lot as a player. He got paid. He got the bag. So I think that there's an opportunity to take some Garrett Wilson stock today. Do you guys got any thoughts on the other Wilson, not the deep cut Roman Wilson?
I actually think Garrett's going to have like a good game because I don't think he had a good rapport or relationship with Rodgers at all. His comments this week of like, I didn't talk to this guy since he's been gone. It's very weird. That's your WR1. You spent a calendar year together. You would think that you would create some sort of rapport where you'd just go back and forth at least a little bit after the guy left the team, but just to be like, oh, I haven't talked to that guy at all. I think Garrett Wilson will try to flame these guys today. I like that. I
like the narrative angle there too. I don't know how I completely forgot about that because those petty. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to have some pettiness that he wants to get off his chest too today with how it ended with the Jets because he actually was pretty good for them last year, even though they ended up being not very good. And he was
still borderline top 10 QB.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We do have Chef joining us right now. Maybe he can drop. He's on the move. But since we're talking about Justin Fields, let's bring him up. Chef Ree.
What's up, brothers? We made it.
What's up? Welcome. Excited to have you here on the move. What's up, brother? On the move. Brother? Can we get
when you got two kids.
Go. I was going to say, did you hear the bat signal?
Wait,
we got Justin Fields rushing yards. Is that what the moves are?
Oh, really? Is that true?
We're talking about that game. We're talking about that game right now, so that's why.
All right, let's go. Yeah, I mean, you and I were talking about it last night. By the way, look at this.
Oh yeah,
look at that day.
I didn't know Chicago was that pretty. Where is that? Is that in the little corner?
No, it's about an hour outside of Chicago. It's Lake Arlington. We go here for our Saturday and Sunday morning walks. Me and the kiddo.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice. She got a lock for the day.
When you got two kids, locked for the day. Njoku receiving ladder. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a big game. That was just one of my many favorites. Probably have him in too many lays, and we all know how that goes, right? Mm-hmm. But his receiving line is 49.5. I don't know if you guys have touched on that game, but I'm just bricked up. I have so many. I probably put out too many lays, but I don't care. It's week 1, right? I mean, if we're not spraying the board, then we're doing it, right?
Absolutely.
What's the point of football coming back, right?
What's the what?
What's the point of football coming back if we're not spraying the board?
Exactly. I tried to dial it back for Thursday and Friday, and today it's just absolute mayhem. But,
breaking
it is
news.
what it is.
Triz?
Christian McCaffrey
is in today.
Active for Christian McCaffrey.
Good to
really?
Quotations. Good to go.
All right now.
Drizzy, I will buy a ticket to SF if Kyle Shanahan pulls any bullshit.
Okay.
For real. Imagine.
He plays 4 plays, gets yanked.
Yeah. Chef, before we I know you're on the move, but before we get in and get out and lose
I'm
you
here. I'm here.
specifically- Okay, you're here. Vibes are high.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep rolling. Then we'll keep going through the next portion of the game. Did you guys have anything else you want to talk about in the Steelers Jets game before we move on?
I think the Steelers cover.
Okay.
You talked about it. They
cover.
have the 2 tight end set. I think they're going to be good. Oh, me and Triz on the different sides. I'm scared now.
I think the Jets cover. That's a very public side today, my boy. And that line ticked down. It was 3, and now it's 2.5. So I think everybody kind of, riding that Rodgers narrative, like, the revenge game Rodgers or blah, blah. I would trust Fields to have more of a revenge game than I would Rodgers at this point in their career. So I like the Jets. I probably won't bet that. I hate the Jets with a deep passion in my heart, so I probably can't. But at the same time, I think that's the sharp side of the game.
All right.
Now.
Well, Patty's also 26.5 yards, so I did put half a unit on that as well because we got rules around here.
We got
John Smith, man.
I don't know how many commandments.
I forgot he's 9
commandments.
You want to talk about any further of Patty, or just that fact you bet it last year and you're going to bet it again?
I just think that he's a great blocker. He'll turn around, catch that ball in traffic with a double team. I am a big Patty Fryermuth guy. I think he's one of the most underrated tight ends in the entire league. Big, strong, good hands, soft hands. Adding Jonnu obviously scares me a little bit because I know SPJ, that's your boy. He's fucking absolute baller as well. But at 26.5, there's rules. I took it. Half unit.
All right, now we'll find out how they deploy both of them. It's going to be very interesting to see how Arthur Smith utilizes both of those tight ends and seeing, because Arthur Smith has a lot of success in his past career as offensive coordinators along the way of using 2 tight end sets very effectively with multiple talents. So we'll see how that gets deployed today. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving to the rest of the noon or 1 Eastern noon kickoff slate. We've got a few more games to get to. It's also nice to look up and not be stressed for time, boys. It's so nice to look up and be like, we're chilling. We're big chilling. We're almost at the hour mark, though, so appreciate you guys for hanging out. We got another hour coming at you guys live right now. Let's jump into Trizzy's favorite game of the day. The Dolphins taking on the Colts, AFC South versus the AFC East. The over-under in this game is 46.5. It's pretty much a pick 'em. Either side, you can kind of take your plus 1.5, minus 1.5, plus a point, whatever. You can just bet the money lines at this point for either team, depending on which side you lean here. The Colts looking to start the season with Danny Dimes in the backfield, and Tua and company in the Fins are looking to silence the haters and start the season with a bang. Trizzy, I'll let you lead us off. I know one of your favorite plays is in this game, so take it away, man. Tee us up. What are we looking at in this one between these two teams?
Man, this is my favorite play of the day. I am on the Colts, and I'm on the Colts big. I think this is razor sharp. There is zero reason why a healthy Tua, healthy Tyreek, healthy Jalen Waddle, all their backfield healthy. Devon Achane is in. Maybe their offensive line is a little banged up, but they've never had an offensive line, if we're being honest. Why are they underdogs to Danny Dimes in a bad Colts team? There's no reason why they should be 1-point underdogs. And with all the money, with all the tickets that are coming in on Dolphins, why has this line not flipped? They refuse to go past the 0 mark, and I think it's because the Colts are going to roll today. I think the Colts are one of the more surprising teams of the day. I think they're going to roll. They're probably going to win by a field goal, maybe even 7 points. I love the Colts today. There's no reason why Danny Dimes should be a favorite. He won 3 games last year. He lost his job in New York to Tommy DeVito, or I forgot who took over from. He lost his job. Now he signs to a new team, new Colts team, against a Dolphins team that, again, this was a playoff team a year ago. They were bad last year, but Tua didn't play last year. Tua's playing today. Why are they underdogs? Books know what they're doing. They always know what they're doing. They're going to let the public smash this Dolphins line, and the Colts are going to roll.
I don't disagree with you. However, both of these teams, in my opinion, going into this season are just so mid, and I really don't like either team. And I feel like that both of these teams have a chance to just not be very good this year. And we're just going to find out today if that assessment is correct or not. Because the Dolphins do have talent still. And like you said, the Colts can be frisky if Danny Dimes can just be serviceable. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have pieces, which I'll talk about JT in a second. But you got stones on this side on the Colts. I think you're probably on the right side if I had to choose. But like this game is just gross nastiness in apparent. And like
I texted our buddy that's a Colts fan, and he did say to me that they haven't won an opener since 2013. So Trizzy is a sharp for sure, but our resident Colts fan, not high on them.
The books know they haven't won an opener since 2013. So again, why the fuck are they favorites? Why are they favorites? Like maybe I look entirely dumb and the Dolphins roll, whatever. I've been sports betting. Dog. Yeah, I've been sports gambling for a long damn time, and I know everything the books do is usually for a reason. So, 1-point underdogs, and the Colts have not won an opener since 2013. They have Danny Dimes going at quarterback. It reeks, and I love the smell of fish on a Sunday morning. So
let's go.
Dolphin especially. My play in this game will help you. Will help this hopefully get over the line for the Colts here. I'm on Jonathan Taylor over 93.5 rushing and receiving yards. I think that this line is just too low. He crushed the back half of the season last year going into the last 5 weeks of the season. 177 rushing yards, 125, 218 against the Titans, 107, and then 96 in his last 5 games last year. I think we see a similar performance once again today. He is great out of the backfield. He is their best. He is a dynamic playmaker when healthy, and I think that we see a lot of JT today. I don't think they're going to want to get in a lot of situations if you're a Colts fan where you're going to want to see Danny Dimes dropping back and throwing the ball 30 to 35 times. They're going to want to lean on JT. I think that they're going to lean on JT. I really like his rushing and receiving yards. I also like his touchdown. It is a little juiced, but I think that his TD is live today. I think that JT has an opportunity to start hot this season, and I think it starts in week 1.
Let's go.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that line.
Sorry, go ahead, Chef. Go ahead.
No, I saw a stat somewhere where for Colts home openers when they're favorited, Jonathan Taylor, or not home openers, but home games when they're favorited, Jonathan Taylor destroys that line. Like he goes over 100 vast majority of the time. So I don't hate that at all. Also, there was an interesting stat of Tyreek in week 1. I know that, if it holds true to what Trizzy's saying, they're going to be coming out healthy. And if they're, trailing the Colts, he's going to have to, chuck it to Tyreek. I think Tyreek has a good game. Like the stat was something about a week 1. Yeah. Tyreek in week 1, historically does really well. He just kind of gets off his foot and just, wow. So I like a touchdown. So yeah, I like that.
Word. Go ahead, Sauceman. What were you going to say?
I'll start off where Chef just kind of left off. Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown. I got a number of plus 135 here. And if we're talking about this guy, it's the guy who had a down year last year. A lot of that had to do with Tua's injury, not playing so well, not being in the lineup. And Tyreek is entering what could be his last year of his deal. The Miami Dolphins structured his 3-year, $90 million deal with an out after 2025. Yes, it'll cost him a little bit of money, but it'll cost him a whole lot less to not have him on the team. He's 31 years old. He probably doesn't have the same level of speed, but if he could put up 12 to 13 touchdowns this year, that's a convincing argument to be brought back for what would be the highest paid year of his contract, and not just by a little. Significantly higher paid. And if you guys know anything, Tyreek Hill has a lot of kids and a lot of child support to pay.
I was gonna say, is anybody worried for the fact that Tyreek Hill is homeless right now? He just lost his primary residence in the divorce case just 2 weeks ago. The dude is just like legit a millionaire homeless man right now.
The hungry dog runs faster, Sook. That's how it works. That's how it's going down. The Cheetah's getting in the end zone for plus 135, but a little bit more of a tame bet. I'm looking at this new young tight end, the new weapon that this Colts team drafted in the first round. Boys, it's not often tight ends go in the first round, but when they do, it's good to take notice because it means that that is a player that is looking to make an immediate impact that year. Tyler Warren has been talked about by scouts, by college scouts, by so many people all offseason, and his line is coming out at 36.5. He's a rookie. It's a really hit or miss thing, but Daniel Jones is not known for his 45, 50-yard bombs. He's not known to be getting the ball out and deep to his receivers. He is a guy that likes to check down, that looks for the safe options. And what is Tyler Warren going to do? He is going to be that safety blanket that the Colts have sorely missed over the last few years, despite or whoever their quarterback has been. So give me Tyler Warren over 36.5 receiving yards today. I love that number. I love him to have an immediate impact on this Colts offense.
V, any worries that this is the new Kyle Pitts?
No, not at all, because I drafted Kyle Pitts too.
Oh my God. You got both of them that you can stare at on your bench at one point in the season.
I love pain. What can I say?
Sure. All right, let's keep it going. That game
I love that.
I will. Yeah, absolutely. You can ladder it maybe too if you're feeling frisky. The Strizzy's play of the day, though, is in the staff article if you want to go check that out as well. And his analysis, although he talked about everything of why he likes the Colts. Yeah, go ahead.
Danny Dimes, anytime touchdown was plus 210 yesterday. Nobody can tell me that makes sense. Nobody can tell me that makes sense. I remember this dude plus 475 last year on the Giants. Why is he plus 210 when he has Jonathan Taylor on the side of him?
Trizzy's tutters are so back, baby.
So you're going to put a Ryan Tannehill finger roll action off of the bootleg? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I just think, I mean, it's since I sent this to Vsauce and said, what the fuck is wrong with this? It's now jumped to plus 290, but I still think that's weird. Low. Yeah, that's still weird. That's still low. This isn't a mobile quarterback. This isn't a guy that he doesn't have designed runs. I don't know why he's necessarily that low. I think maybe that could be for a reason. Not exactly sure. I love my fishy touchdowns, and that's pretty fishy.
That's a fishy one in a fishy game.
Danny Dimes. Yeah, what's his rush line? I mean, he's usually good for a rush or two. It's probably 15.5 or something, right? Mm-hmm. So he might sneak one in. What if Danny Dimes, Tyreek, Colts to win, and Tyler Warren receiving yards? What's that? It's like out of plus 2,000.
There you go. There's an SGP for you guys if you want to tail in this game. Of all the games today, we're putting together an SGP for the Dolphins Colts. Sheesh. Good Lord. All right, let's keep it going through the noon slate. A couple more games to get to before we get to the afternoon slate. You still got plenty of time rocking and rolling with you guys. Let's go to Sook's team, the Buccaneers, looking to start off the season in the NFC South against the Dirty Birds in Atlanta. Pretty much a pick 'em here as well on either side. You can take the -1 or the +1 if you're feeling a little softer, but you can get good value on either money line. The over/under set at 47 in this game. We've talked about both of these teams pretty extensively. She seems to be possibly the cream of the crop in the NFC South. Sook, I'll let you take us away. Are you on your Bucs today? How you feeling? And what's the moves in this game?
I do think that the Bucs win, but what does scare me is that Tristan Wirfs is not playing in this game. Obviously, he is our best defender of Mr. Baker Mayfield. When he's not out there, Baker has a harder time staying in the pocket and being calm. The thing that worries me in this game, though, is exactly that. And there's a reason why I have no plays in this game at all, because I wanted to take the sacks, and they're fully juiced, both sides. The unders and the overs, the lines are very sharp in this game. I don't have any plays in this game, but I do think that the Bucs cover. They absolutely hate the Falcons. We had two very, very games that became struggle fest last year against ATL. So I do think that the Bucs want to come off and start off on the right foot, beat a divisional opponent. I think they cover it. I think they have a great game. Obviously, I do also think that Kyle Pitts has a good game because our secondary is not that good. Penix has talked about the fact that he's going to focus in on him and get him the ball. But honestly, I'm such a homer. I can't see this game properly at all. I do have the Bucs money line already placed, but there's no official props that I could really give you guys that I would feel really confident about. But we've talked about this pretty extensively. I think Drake London's about to have an absolute bombastic year. He's going to be fantastic. I love Drake London, supreme athlete. I think he'll be great. This is the type of game that I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna fucking enjoy the crap out of it because I think this will be back and forth. I think the over is definitely in play, but I'd love to hear what props you guys like.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, B. No, go.
I
I
was
don't
just
care
going
who
to say,
goes.
Drake London, I think he's going to have a big year this year. I don't have anything officially on him yet, but I'm really looking at that touchdown. I'm also looking at his receiving yards prop. I don't know if I'm nuts here, though, but Kyle Pitts, is he getting in the end zone today, Trizzy? You called it last year. When is it going to happen?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's going to have a pretty good year today, this year. And him and Penix showed they have some rapport at the end of the last season. And now you give him a whole other off season. He's good. We can't deny that. He is good. He hasn't played with the best quarterbacks. He hasn't played with the best offensive coordinator. His athleticism is unheard of at the tight end position, in my opinion. That shit doesn't go away. Like the hands can come over time. I know he dropped some passes last year. That can come over time, but you don't get that athleticism at that position. To me, it's always been just a matter of time. And I know a lot of people have given up in X, Y, and Z. I believe this is a contract year for him. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a contract year for him. So if he's going to ball out any year, it's probably going to be this year. And again, Penix and him have some great rapport together. So
I like the look on that. I also, just to go back to this, I don't have money on this, but maybe V, you're going to talk about it a little further. I really like Drake London in this matchup. Like Sook was saying, this is one of the worst secondaries in football last year. They allowed the third most receiving yards per game last season, as in the Buccaneers did. And Drake London last year was fantastic. This year, I think we see another performance once again on the same level. 79.5 feels low. I think a ladder to 100 feels very comfortable. You can also take his 6.5 catches. In the 4 games last season that Michael Penix was the starter for this team, Drake London was by far the most targeted wide receiver on this team, like bar none. So I think that is going to continue week 1 here. I do like the Pitts look as well, but I think there's a lot of good ways you can take Drake London here, and I think his touchdown's also a good play as well.
Yeah. This is going to be an absolute banger of a game, boys.
Yeah, I do have money on this game. I took the under 47.5, not to shit on your parade suit, but I like the under 47.5 here. It hasn't moved. I think today it might have ticked down to 47. 47, very key number, divisional matchup. You would think both of these teams score a lot of points, and in my opinion. But from what I remember towards the end of the last season, Falcons defense started kind of turning it on a little bit, and we already know about the Bucs defense. I think this has the potential to be a little bit of a slugfest. Just defensive, hard-nosed football. In my opinion, I think there's going to be a lot of rushing going on in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of time burnt. I think the scoring is only going to start happening until the second half. And I like it. Divisional matchup, under 47.5, man. It gave you that little half.
The were 66 and 57. So this is a ballsy play, and I trust you. I might tell you on this.
You just brought that up. If it was 66 and 57, why is the total at a key number of 47.5? Why isn't it 50.5? Why isn't it? Again, both teams relatively healthy. I mean, the Bucs are as healthy as they can get right now, I would say, other than Godwin. But it's a whole different story. I don't know how effective Godwin's going to be all year, regardless. I think that dude's kind of playing on one leg, and he has been playing on one leg, and then he broke that leg. So I don't know exactly where that's going to go.
Yeah.
And just before we move on, we got to talk about Bucky Irving and Ibuka, right, V?
I mean, yes, those two guys, but I would also throw Bijan Robinson into that conversation, the guy we haven't mentioned at all. But yes, look, talk to me about Bucky. What are we doing with him today?
Honestly, I think the Bucky lines are pretty sharp. The one play that I do kind of like, and it's super fucking juiced, so you might as well ladder it to 3. But Rachaad White over 1.5 receptions is minus 190. I do not think that he'll be the forgotten back. I still think that they'll use him as a weapon for sure. We talked about this last year where he was really deciding what weight he wanted to play at. He's saying this year is the best shape of his life. He's ready to go. And now he's all of a sudden RB2. So I think that Rachaad White definitely if you want to put it in parlays, 1.5 receptions, or take it for 3 receptions at plus money. But Bucky's lines are so sharp that I didn't play anything with Bucky. He could get 140 yards, but I don't know. I'm just not ready to back it yet. I want to see how we actually play both backs before I start betting on Bucky.
Fair enough.
I think we can agree of all the games in the early window, this could end up being the most like banger of a matchup.
If
like
Baker Mayfield fucking trucks someone today, I will fucking lose my mind, bro.
You're going to lose your mind with whatever Baker ends up doing. He's going to do one thing today that's going to make you lose your shit and text our group chat and go nuts for Baker Love.
It's going to be the most mild thing, too. He's going to like come out running of the tunnel and he's going to be like, look how he ran. Look how
he's going to do a spin on the sideline.
Oh, for sure.
Oh
no, smelling salts. Chad, we got a fun thing next week for getting our smelling salts out for you guys. We're going to be starting the show with that next week. Also, we tried to bring Chef back. He was unfortunately, we had some video problems for Chef joining us. So I don't know if he'll be able to join us for the rest of the show, but Chef was here for a little bit. We'll try to get us back near the end of the show. Otherwise, next week, I think he'll be a little less on the move and be able to join us for more of the show. Guys, anything else on this game, or should we move to the last couple games of the noon slate?
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it moving. We're cruising right now.
We are cruising. Chat, drop a dub. As a reminder, we're going to get to our touchdown parlay at the end of the show. We'll have a chance to get a couple plays from you guys as well. And we are going to be doing a giveaway today of our brand new football beanie or a football hat. We'll be giving you guys one of these in the chat. All you got to do is stick around with us on twitch.tv/bettingnews. Come and hang out with us. If you're watching us on X or if you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you guys tuning in. But if you want to win, all you got to do is be with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/bettingnews. All right, guys, let's go to this matchup. The Raiders and Trizzy's Patriots taking on each other. -2.5 are the Pats at home here. The Raiders with Geno Smith and company coming to town +2.5. Over/under set at 44 right now by our friends at Bet Online. Lots of hype around this Pats team going into this season. Drake May and company, Mike Vrabel coming to town to kind of right the ship a little bit and bring back that championship pedigree. Triz, since this is your squad, I'll let you kind of lead us off. How you feeling about this game? 2.5 points feels like a it feels like a line, doesn't it? It feels like they just said it there for a reason. How are we feeling?
Yeah, that the line scares the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. The line is scares the absolute shit out of me. But I think they're rolling this year, man. I really do. I think their offense is clicking on all cylinders. The defense has got to be good. We just let an all-pro walk for no reason at all. We just let Jabril Peppers let him go for no reason at all. Maybe it was a good decision because he hasn't signed anybody anywhere yet. So maybe he really was on the back end of his career, but that man was great at stopping the run and they let him go. So that's probably got to be for somewhat of a reason. Our secondary is a little banged up. No Christian Gonzalez, but we signed Carlton Davis. He's going to be the quarterback one today. He's going to be all over Jacoby Myers. We have very athletic safeties. Say what you will about Kyle Duggar. He's decent in coverage when he's covering a tight end. If he's covering a wide receiver, he's getting toasted. But a tight end, more of his speed. He's a big body. I think he'll be able to kind of put the clamps on Brock Bowers today a little bit. I feel like that's kind of the focus of the offense. I'm not entirely too worried about Genty, if I'm being honest, man. I really am not too worried about Genty. We got really good up front. We got solid. Our D-line is very solid. Christian Barmore, Milton Williams. I don't think the Raiders are going to have too much success running the football at all today, which again brings me back to the point of why I don't get why this spread is 2.5. This Raiders team is not very good. And the Patriots, with all this hype they're getting, how good they actually got, how they have a great coach now. I feel like this line should be 3 or 3.5. It should be something over there. The 2.5 is a little sus to me. So just based on that alone, it's kind of scared me off of the Pats. I don't really like betting the Pats anyway. It's kind of double dipping on my fandom. I'm already in hell with them for the past couple of years anyway. So, but again, Lions scares the shit out of me. I think the Pats should roll. Honestly, I really do. They had no problem scoring in the preseason. Whenever they had the first team offense out there, they were scoring and they were scoring in bunches. I will talk about this because this is a big talking point for almost everybody. I have been watching Josh McDaniels run an offense for 12 years, 13 years, 14 years probably. It's been a long time. He has always been at the helm of the Patriots offense. At some points he had Tom Brady. I saw him be successful with Mac Jones. I saw him successful with Cam fucking Newton. I have never seen him use one running back ever. No matter who he had. I've never seen him run one running back. They had James White, LeGarrette Blount, and Rex Burkhead all touching the ball at least 10 times a game at one point during McDaniel's coaching career. Henderson can be very good. He could be all pro running back, but I promise Ramondre Stevenson is still going to touch the ball at least 5 to 10 times. Based on that alone, dude, say what you will. He was a very serviceable running back.
You think I love it.
Wasn't successful anywhere else but McDaniel's offense, and that's who he is. That's exactly who McDaniel's is. He switches looks all the time. Antonio Gibson is also going to get the ball today, I promise. At least once, twice, maybe even 5 times. Antonio Gibson will be on the field today. So will Stevenson, and so will Henderson. I think the Patriots running backs all year are props I am going to stay away from 100%. McDaniels, I've always said Andy Reid is a terrorist with his running backs. McDaniels is worse. McDaniels is so much worse. Like,
what do you think about Pop Douglas's receiving line? 32 and a half.
What I really was looking at is Kayshon Boutte, 15 and a half. 15 and a half.
Rocking everywhere.
He was our wide receiver 1 last year. He was the best receiver we had last year. He caught multiple touchdowns. Why the fuck is that 15 and a half? Because Stephon Diggs is playing? Up until last week, we didn't even know if he was going to play week 1. How do you know he's healthy? Why is his line 60 and a half and not the true wide receiver 1? I think that Kayshon Boutte 15 and a half, that is a great line. And if I'm betting anything in this game, it is going to be that.
Let's go.
It's 2 catches is plus money, dude.
I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. He was the wide receiver 1 last year.
5, 4, and 7 in the last 3 games last year going into the offseason. Obviously, Pop Douglas, a lot of hype. You talked about him a bunch last year. I like what he's going to bring to the table too. You obviously got Stephon Diggs there as well. What do you guys think about Bowers today? Just to go a little chalky, do we think that Bowers kind of picks up where he left off last year? New quarterback throwing him the ball this year. Tough matchup today, obviously with that defense. Sure,
I do.
Go ahead, baby.
And I'll kick it off because I think that a lot of this Raiders hype and the kind of like people are looking at this team differently than last season has to do with Geno Smith. Let me just read off some of Geno Smith's numbers. When under Pete Carroll, he had 50 touchdowns to 20 interceptions. He is so much better when he has a head coach that believes in him, a head coach that knows how to coach him. Not just that, but Geno Smith in dome games, this is not about today's game. This is just about the outlook of this offense in general. He has a quarterback rating of 105 in dome games, 86 outside. His touchdown to interception ratio is 5.6 to 1 when he's playing in a dome. He has 11 games in a dome this year. Today's game is not a good example of this. I don't think the offense has the kind of success they're going to have probably during the regular season, but there are 2 pass catchers that I am targeting, and it's not the tight end for the Raiders. It's the tight end for the New England Patriots. Hunter Henry, over 32 and a half receiving yards. He was great last year, especially when you had those games with Drake May under center. You need, as a young quarterback, a release valve, and that's exactly what Hunter Henry is. He is a big target that will come down with the football and is usually outmatching his opponent because they use a lot of cornerbacks to cover this guy because he's running a shit ton of routes. I love Hunter Henry's over 32 and a half receiving yards. He had 6.3 targets per game last year, 4.3 receptions per game. And I just think that this is a guy that they've kept around because of his connection and what he's able to give Drake May, their young QB. On the other side of the ball, though, it's Jacoby Myers, over 51 and a half. And I understand, Trizzy, you like the secondary and the moves that they've made, but no Christian Gonzalez, a Jacoby Myers that just requested a trade 3 weeks ago. I think that the reason they didn't trade him is because they know they need him on this offense. They don't have a lot of pass catchers in the wide receiver room, and you can't run your offense around a tight end no matter how good said tight end is. It doesn't work. Geno Smith is going to need some pass catchers, and Jacoby Myers was that guy last year. In a year that he played with guys like I can't even, Jimmy Garoppolo and Aiden O'Connell. In a year where Devontae Adams was actively asking for a trade, Jacoby Myers had a career year, averaging just under 70 receiving yards per game, the most targets, most receptions he's had in a single season. And I think it continues now with Pete Carroll at the helm of this offense.
Revenge game for Myers, too.
Yep, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Danny's on his receiving yards. He liked that play earlier this week. We talked about this as well. I think that Myers is going to have lots of narratives today, too. Lots of guys either playing teams they played previously, lots of interesting situations. So don't forget that when you guys are adding this into your capping situation as well. We got 2 more games to get to, boys, in the early window before we move to the late window. And I've just got to say that I'm so glad we started the show earlier now because last year we'd be up against it right now, and the vibes are
I'll actually have time to set my lineup today.
Facts. Yeah, we'll have time to pick our parlay. Yeah, facts. We'll have time to put everything together. Drop a dub if you're enjoying the show and kicking it with us, getting us ready to rock and roll into week 1. We've got about an hour and 5 minutes until kickoff, so let's keep rolling through these last 2 early window games before we keep it going. Interesting one here. The Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Carolina Panthers. 3.5-point favorites are the Jags here. Over-under set at 46.5 down in Jacksonville. Triz, I know you're pretty high on these Jags going into the season. Sook, I know you're high on the Panthers going into this season. What are we?
Why are me and Trizzy on opposite sides of everything today? It's stressing me out.
I'm not sure, man. I thought it was going to be me and V. I was excited to argue with him, but we've been kind of on the same thing. So in this game, the one thing I was looking at is the Jaguars running backs. Both of their lines are very, very low. Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne. And if there's one thing, I'm sure, Suk, you can agree with me on this, Liam Cohen's running game is very effective. It always has been very effective. That man can get the most out of his running backs. And a lot of people are very down on Travis Etienne. I remember how good he actually was when he was healthy. So I do think he can get I think Cohen can get the most out of ETN, and I like his rushing receiving today, man. I really do. I think that's way too low of a line. I think it's also a contract here for ETN. So if he's going to ball out and try to continue his career in the NFL, it's going to be this year, and he's in no better spot to do it than with Liam Cohen. And again, you mentioned Travis Hunter. He's supposed to play every wide receiver snap today. I don't know exactly how effective he's going to be. I don't exactly know how effective they're going to be throwing the ball today. I think they're going to run all over this defense. So, again, I'm just on ETN yards, I would say. Rushing, receiving, just receiving. Whatever you want to take there, I think it all hits. So.
Our dog Gretzky Betsky in the staff article this week, I thought Betsky might join us. He might actually pop in at some point in this last little 30 to 45 that we're live to talk about Trevor Lawrence. He likes his passing yards passing touchdowns over 1.5. BTJ is obviously somebody we talked about a lot last year. Maybe the running backs, like you mentioned, Triz, are going to have something to say, whichever one you kind of want to target, depending on which direction you want to go. V, before Sook talks a little bit about the Panthers side, you want to talk about BTJ?
Absolutely, I do. Brian Thomas Jr., elite wide receiver, 1,200-yard season, and he did it with Mac Jones under center. And Trizzy can tell you how impossible that sounds. The funniest thing is the first 10 games of the year, the first half of the season, he played with Trevor Lawrence, really mid numbers, but we saw the kind of year Lawrence was having. He wasn't having a great year even before the injury, really struggling to find like this offense and get any kind of momentum going on that side of the ball. Mac Jones came in and all of a sudden Brian Thomas Jr.'s numbers exploded. I think it has more to do with the fact that in the latter half of the season, the team was just targeting him way more. They understood that they don't have a lot of pass catchers on this offense or a lot of guys that can move the ball vertically. So we're going to target this guy as much as we can until somebody stops us. And I think it continues this week. We're seeing his line open up at 76.5, higher than Malik Neighbors. And a lot of that has to do with this Panthers pass defense being the worst in the league last year. They're also the worst in average yards allowed per play. So I think that this is an offense under a new head coach with Trevor Lawrence back at the helm that is going to put up points. And I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be one of those guys who we see have a 1,500-yard season this year with his QB1 back healthy.
Yeah. Super. We've talked about this guy a bunch all through leading into the offseason, ending off last year. Brain was a big friend of the program last year. Brain, baby. And I think he's going to start us off nicely again today. Chef, actually, I'll give you guys a little nuggie. This is Chef's leg for the touchdown parlay. Is BTJ to score a touchdown.
Ooh.
So that is one of our legs of our touchdown parlay. Chad, at the end of the show, we'll have a touchdown leg. We can decide, boys, if we want to do 4 or 5 legs. We'll see how we feel, but we'll get there at the end.
Before Sook talks about his play, can I lead him into this with someone that he absolutely loves? I don't have a lot to say, but it's Chuba Hubbard, over 9.5 receiving yards. This is a guy who had 4+ catches in 9 of 15 games last year, coming off his first 1,000-yard season, his first 10 touchdown season, and 40 catches last year, boys. He has established himself as one of the premier dual threat running backs, and at 9.5 receiving yards, when they're probably going to play from behind, Bryce Young is going to see a ton of pressure. This is the guy who's going to act as a release valve. So give me his over 9.5 receiving yards.
I love that.
Nice. Yep. Stook, you want to take it away? Talk a little bit about why you like the Panthers in this matchup?
Yeah, I like the Panthers as the underdogs here. I do think that this team is going to be better this year. Obviously, you have one of the best corners in all of the NFL in J.C. Horn, who just recently in the NFL's execs coaches vote was rated the 7th best corner in all of the NFL. I know V just said they were very bad in the secondary last year, but I do think that this team is going to improve. And I'm not seeing this talked about enough. Obviously, I think Chuba Hubbard is definitely a lead back. He's very, very good. But you just added a guy who put 1,000 yards on the ground last year in Rico Dowdle. So I do think this team has weapons. Obviously, with Xavier Legette being a first-round pick last year, trading away Adam Thielen, who had great rapport with Bryce Young. I just do think this team has a lot of confidence in their squad, and I do think that the Panthers are going to surprise a lot of people this year, and I think that starts right here in week 1.
Hey, man, Bryce Young has 4 total wins, I think. 6 total wins in his NFL career. 3 of them came over the last 8 weeks last year. They were trending in the right direction. The offense looked much better, and he was making throws that he had not made for the last however many games he had played. He looked a lot better. And we haven't even talked about the rookie wide receiver, Teteroa McMillan. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, the 8th overall pick.
Just call him Tet. It makes it easy.
His literal swagger, the way he's coming into this season, has me hyped. I think he's going to be an elite wideout. And I think if Bryce Young continues to play how he did at the end of last year, the offense could at least be a little fun.
100%. I think someone was actually mentioning in chat earlier from Tet McMillan wanting the yards or the catches. They were on the prop of that one. So definitely nice to target him. He should be a good player for that team if Bryce Young continues to play like he did, like we saw at the end of last season, finally starting to put it together, so should be a good one though. This is another good one in the early window as well. We'll kind of find out if the Jags do have something to say in the AFC South this year, if Trizzy's assessment of them is accurate, if the Carolina Panthers are going to also have something to say this year. I think we find out a lot about both of these teams in this matchup today in the week 1 of the season. All right, boys, should we move to the last game of the early window before we move to the late window before we get out of here?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's go to this one. The Saints taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites on the road here down in the Bayou. Alvin Kamara and company, 6.5-point dogs at home, over under set at 44. I don't really have any major thoughts on this game. I was kind of trying to find the way that I wanted to talk about this versus just saying, I think it's just the Cardinals. Do you guys have any more to say about this one? This game's kind of stinky to me.
I have something I absolutely love.
Go for it.
Kendre Miller. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year for his 30 yards, we took it at like plus 300. Absolutely smacked. Fucked up his knee the next week. This year, he's definitely going to be tested. The new coaching staff is coming in. The guy in front of him is a vet that might get traded in Kamara. So give me Kendre Miller over 14.5 rushing yards. He's good. He's a power back. He can get you yardage. We saw that in the last preseason game. They gave him a decent amount of snaps. They're definitely going to try to shake the tree and see what they have with this guy. Former 3rd-round pick, but has not stayed healthy in his career, but absolute beast of a human being. If those knees stay right, I think this guy is going to have a longer career. And at 14.5 or minus 110, give me Kendre Miller's rushing yards.
I love that. I remember he smacked for our lotto last year too, that 30 plus.
Yeah.
This just feels like one of those games where and this is just how I look at this game. I think either the Cardinals are going to absolutely roll and win by 2 touchdowns, or the Saints are going to fuck around and win outright, in my opinion. Like, I don't think this game falls within the number, in my opinion. I feel like it's going to be either just Saints just shit the bed and are terrible like we all kind of think they could be, or they surprise everybody because everybody's fading the hell out of them and they win outright. Do you guys kind of feel the same way just from a side perspective in this one, or do you guys see it a little differently?
I honestly have there's very few games today that I haven't bet on or don't have any units on. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. I think in a touchdown parlay, and that's it. There was nothing I loved in this game, nothing I even wanted to look at. Saints are going to be bad, but do I even think that the Cardinals are good enough to beat them? Not really. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was kind of looking at the total. I don't really see why it's like as low as it is. I kind of don't. I don't think the Saints defense is very good at all, and I would say the same exact thing about the Cardinals defense. I think this has a potential to be a shootout, in my opinion. I don't see how this game's not like 27-24 but when they're done, or even 27-20 when they're done, or something of the nature. Say what you will about Spencer Rattler, but Kellen Moore, offensive guru, and Spencer Rattler won this job. It was a true quarterback competition, and he won this job. He went out and won this job. I don't know if we all remember Rashad Shaheed last year. He was a dog. He went off for 4 straight weeks, proved that he was a viable wide receiver. Then he got hurt, and everybody kind of forgot about him. He's healthy this year. They have Chris Olave healthy this year. You got Alvin Kamara healthy this year. I just don't see how the Saints truly struggle to put up points against this Cardinals defense. And play when you turn it on the flip side, I don't think the Cardinals are going to have much of a problem scoring either. So again, this total seems a little low to me. Maybe I'm just getting fooled here, but I like the over here. I don't see how it doesn't hit. I really don't.
I can see that. But I'm with you, V, kind of on the thing of like I don't want any beans in this game. I really don't. I don't feel like anything good. I think Trey McBride could be a good bet too, but again, I want to see it first. Maybe week 1. So maybe this is just one.
Thoughts on Olave?
I don't want to give myself a reason to have to turn this game on, basically.
Fact. All right, well then let's tap off the early window. We're going to move into the late window with you guys and get you guys ready to roll through the late afternoon games. We might have time to touch on Sunday Night Football, at least give our thoughts on some props and things like that we like on that one before we cook our touchdown parlay. But as a reminder, Chad, if you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch, we appreciate you being here. We got 10,000 people watching us right now, which is awesome to see. If you guys want to come and kick it with us on Twitch, though, there will be doing a giveaway at the end of the show, so come and hang out with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/bettingnews. All you got to do is just hang out with us to be entered to win in the giveaway. So come and kick it with us over here. All right, boys, let's move to the late window. Niners, Seahawks. We just talked about it earlier with CMC. CMC has been confirmed in, so he's going to be in for this game. Is a 1-point spread as we're looking at it right now. Pretty much a pick 'em on either side. You can get value on the money line on the Hawks if you want some plus money there. Over-under set at 43 in this divisional matchup. So B, I'll let you kind of lead us off with this one. What are you kind of seeing with this game in the on the northwestern part of the country and kicking off the late window?
Man, these are 2 squads that I have either going to be really good or really, really bad. And so it's got me hyped on the Seahawks defense. I'm not going to lie. I do think that they're going to be elite. I did snag them late in some drafts just because I do think that there's some value there. They believe in this squad, and they really emphasize the offensive side of the ball. I think that we've talked about it with Kenneth Walker. When he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the league. Even last year, he was points per game-wise the best running back in the league. It's all about, can he stay healthy? I think a lot of it has to do with the way Seattle schemes this run game, and it's why Zach Charbonnet comes in and looks just as good when he's in that backfield. I think they're capable of running the ball, but I really think that this Niners team is going to come down to the health of CMC. If he's healthy, like Trizzy said, he might be the best, if not one of the best NFL players alive right now with what he brings to the game. If he's healthy, I do think that this Niners team is going to be completely different. But it's a divisional game. It's up in the Northwest. It's on the road. I really think that Seattle is going to come out ready to fight, especially with Darnold having the season he did last year and then being kind of shipped away to Seattle.
Yeah. You touched on this guy just because I didn't bet this game, but there was one prop that I really liked a lot, and you kind of touched on it for a second. I like Zach Charbonnet in this one. We talked about this kind of split backfield. I really feel like that they're going to utilize both of these running backs, Kenneth Walker obviously being probably the starter but I think Charbonnet is going to get out there a lot, especially on passing downs. His rushing and receiving yards line is 39.5. He hit that in 5 of the last 6 games to finish off the season last year. 59 and 57 rushing yards in back-to-back games to finish the season as well. His receiving yards as well is like 9.5, which feels like a joke. He hit that in 7 straight games to finish the year last year. So I like Charbonnet in the backfield. Don't have a read on his side. I think this game should be a really good one. CMC props are probably worth the sprinkle if you want to get after it that way too, like we talked about earlier, but I think it should be a good one.
Let's go.
Ricky Pearsall, man. Ricky Pearsall, anytime touchdown. I think it's plus 220. I
so much
love it. I love it. I've seen nothing but his yards, and I've seen nothing but his receptions, which is it's entirely fine to me. Juwan Jennings, he was hurt, but I don't know how much that was actually injury and how much of that was actually contract situation. So I do feel like now that he's in, and if he does fully play, it's only going to help Ricky Pearsall even more. Pearsall had a great preseason. I think he's a great player to begin with. He really showed out at the end of last season, showed that Brock Purdy can trust him and will trust him. I think Kittle and Juwan Jennings are the ones that get all the yards and all the receptions today, but Pearsall is the one that finds the end zone.
I love that, Tristan. I didn't mean that like I've seen him bet everywhere. I just meant I've seen a lot of people that I respect, like you, talking about Ricky Pearsall this season and the impact he's going to have.
There was a reason he was one of the first receivers off the board that year, because there were so many good receivers in that draft. I thought it was a little interesting. And he wasn't being, he wasn't. Yeah, exactly. Which now, if we should talk about what are the odds of the NFL of one team having two of the only players that have been shot in the past 15 years on the same team.
If they don't walk out the many men, we have issues.
They're the get rich or die trying miracle story. So
50 Cent's going to be in the house today. Anything else you guys want to say on this game? I feel like we kind of covered all the different ways to take this. We can kind of move to the next one unless you got anything else.
Yeah, just remember CMC anytime and Ricky Pearsall anytime.
Go Seahawks. Don't sleep on them. Plus 550 to win the division. Already placed it.
Bing bong. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Let's go to the next game in the late window. The Tennessee Titans traveling to the Denver Broncos to Mile High to take on Bo Nix and company. The Broncos -9 and +9 for the Titans. I'm seeing 8.5s and 9s out there, depending on where you're shopping. Over/under for this game a little on the lower side, 42.5. I'll spare my thoughts for after one of you guys talk about this game a little bit. What do you guys think with the Titans?
I was gonna say 0 thoughts. SPJ, you go first.
Okay, I'll take the bait here. I'm a fan of this team, chat, so just leave it alone. But I do like the Titans to cover here. I like the 8.5. I think that this is one of those situations where it's a little bit of a buy low spot. I know it's a tough environment to go and play in your first game as a rookie quarterback for Cam Ward, and obviously with the altitude, the defense on the Broncos side is very good. They do have one of the best defensive players in the entire league in Surtain. The thing about Patrick Surtain, though, and this is why I like this matchup a little bit better than people are not really talking about, and everyone's kind of saying, oh, Calvin Ridley's going to get locked up by Surtain. Surtain is not a shadow corner. Surtain is a one side of the field corner. Calvin Ridley is a Z receiver, or is an X receiver, which means that he moves around the lineup. He's not going to stay on one side of the field, whereas the Z receiver for the Tennessee Titans is Alec Iomanner. So the way that ends up working from a defensive schematic perspective is Patrick Surtain's not going to go to the other side of the field if Calvin Ridley's moving around on the line of scrimmage. That's going to give a lot of opportunities for Ridley to not have to deal with Surtain as much as you would think. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for this offense to kind of hum a little bit better. The Titans last year were obviously generationally bad. They were awful in so many different situations. But if you watched a lot of Titans games, it was purely because Will Levis and Mason Rudolph were the worst quarterbacks in the NFL by far. They were absolutely terrible. They shot this team in the foot so many times. We all saw the memes. As long as Cam Ward just plays average to start off and does not throw pick sixes, does not have terrible turnovers, I think the Titans can at least stick around in this game. Their defense is pretty good. They've got some nice pieces on the front line with obviously Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat. They've got good play on the back end. If L'Jarius Sneed can come out and play like a number one bona fide cornerback, which we did not see at all last year, I think this game can be close. I know a lot of people are high on the Broncos, and I think that the Broncos should come in and win this game. I'm not telling you that I think the Titans are going to win. I don't think that that's going to happen, but I do think that this stays within a touchdown, and maybe the Titans keep this within a field goal by the end of this game. So I like the Titans plus 8.5. I do think that there's also a lot of money on the Broncos plus minus the 8.5 or minus the 9. Do I think that could probably end up being the case? Probably, but I'm going to take the bait and I'll give me the Titans plus 8.5.
No, I mean, especially everything you said about the money just now. There's a couple of things that are lining up on this game that always scared me off. They are the highest pick survivor team this week. There is 90+% of the money on the Broncos money line. About 78% of the money bets on that side. About 76% of the bets on the Broncos minus 8.5. And when the fuck ever in our lives have the books handed out free money? Does that ever happen? It just doesn't happen, right? So I don't know. The Bengals were the highest picked team last year. They were the biggest spread. They were the biggest bet, and we saw what the hell happened. This year it's the Broncos, and I'm curious to see what the fuck the Titans come out and do.
People also act like that Bo Nix has like played like a generational talent for years and years and years. He's going into year 2. He was a rookie last year, and we've seen what happened with these generational guys that come in after incredible rookie seasons like the CJ Strouds of the world. And what happens in year 2? Fall off a little bit, sophomore slump. And I'm not saying I don't think that's going to happen with Bo Nix, but I've seen a lot of love for the Broncos, and it's like, can we pump the brakes a tiny bit? I know Sean Payton's good, and this defense is very good, but like, let's see it first a little bit. Could start week 1. Maybe they shellac the Titans, and we got to have a different conversation about this Broncos team. But I really like Cortland Sutton. I was looking at maybe taking some props for him because I think that he should come out and have a good performance. But again, if Snead comes out and plays like the cornerback 1 that he was booked to be when the Titans paid him, this could be an interesting matchup for him. The other play I have in this game before we finish off this one is I do like Calvin Ridley a lot. I got over 20. It's actually over 20.5, but over 20.5 longest reception. I'll just say it for you guys live. He hit this in 10 straight games last year with the worst quarterback play in the entire NFL. I'm high on Calvin Ridley this year. I think that it's going to start again in this game. He's good for probably a 25-yard catch. I don't hate his yards either if you just want to go that way and you don't want to take it in one big pop, but they're going to look to get him the football in lots of different ways. They're going to move him around in the lineup. So I think that Ridley has a lot of opportunity to have some success today as long as Cam Ward can get him the football with some good offensive line play from the Titans in comparison to what we've seen the last couple of seasons. So Ridley, 22.5 longest reception, or 20.5 longest reception, Titans plus 8.5. Those are my 2 plays. I know, color me shocked, chat. I get it. It's not my favorite play today, though, so I won't tell it as like my absolute favorite, but I do like the Titans. Trizzy, I know you're sharp on these sides of things. Do you like the Broncos? Or do you like the Titans? You like the Broncos?
It's one of the square. It's one of those square play. Occasionally I'll take one of those square plays that is just too good to pass up type of thing. And I'm high on the Broncos this year, man. They did nothing but get better. Bo Nix in a second-year offense, as you said, he might take a step back, but because he's up there in age and he was already pretty old, being drafted as a rookie, played 5 years in college. Mm-hmm. Under Sean Payton, I think it's hard for me to believe that they're not going to make somewhat advancements in the game plan here. Titans, I don't think they're going to be as bad as anybody is saying this year. I think Cam Ward is going to be a very serviceable quarterback. I think Calvin Ridley is going to have a great year. I just don't see how the Broncos don't win by 10 plus. I really don't. Maybe they try to snake this spread in garbage time or something like that. But this is one of those square plays, especially on today's slate, where it's probably just gonna happen, where everybody gets scared of it because everybody's taking it, and it's one of the more popular plays and blah, blah, blah. But when it just makes sense, it makes sense, dude. I think the spread is exactly where it should be as well. 8.5, 9.5 points. I think it should be in between those. The Titans aren't too bad, so I don't think the spread's exactly fishy. And I think Denver's really fucking good, man. I really do. They got RJ Harvey. Now they have J.K. Dobbins, who can run the football. Sean Payton now has 2 running backs that can really run the football, and I think that's only going to benefit them, and especially in this game. So I like the Broncos 8.5. I'm too scared to play it, but I do think it's one of those square plays that might just hit, man. You know, everybody gets scared of it because everyone's on it, and it ends up just being absolutely free. So
I got a touchdown scorer.
Oh, I was going to say, chat, you can decide depending on which side you want to take. You can choose. He gave you the argument on taking the Broncos. I gave you the argument taking the Titans. Take your pick. Or don't bet this game at all. Go ahead. So who's scoring a touchdown?
Go ahead and give this guy a sprinkle. Alec,
yeah.
The pride of Medicine Hat, Alberta. He actually grew up in Canada, grew up in Alberta, stayed in Medicine Hat for a long time, then moved to go to prep schools in the United States where he suffered a lot of injuries. But dude is a big brain guy. That's why he went to Stanford. So now he's in the NFL after kind of being like a sneaky pick in the draft. And I do really think that this kid is going to be good. Obviously, they have Calvin Ridley, so Surtain was probably going to line up with him. So Alec might end up on the opposite side of the field, might get open. It's a quarter unit, little sprinkle for the kid. Medicine Hat, Alberta. You guys know me. I love betting my Chuba Hubbards, my Chase Browns, all the Canadian kids in the NFL. So I think this kid has a good chance of having a great career. And I know SPJ is high on him as well because I did text him about him a few weeks ago. And SPJ let me know, like, yo, this guy might end up WR2 by week 4, week 5. So hey, man, sprinkle the tutty.
A little O Canada touchdown parlay feels nice. Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, and this guy.
Oh, you got me bricked up.
You weren't even going to try to say his name, were you? You weren't even going to try. Io Manor's actually no, yeah, Io Manor's actually beat out Van Jefferson, so he will be the starting wide receiver next to Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley. I think Jefferson will play too, but yeah, I like that play. Good value there. Trizzy, also, can you just look at this, brother? How funny would this be if we got in the octagon together?
Brother, I don't know if anybody has seen a picture of me and you standing on the side of each other, but
it would be straight up hilarious.
It'd be pretty funny.
That's one of those fights where, like, when the UFC first started and everybody's coming out in like full-on outfits and stuff like that. That's the kind of fight.
And shit.
Yeah. I'd come out wearing wrestling shoes and like the knee pads, you know what I mean? Look like I'm coming out of the WWE.
That's awesome, man. All right, 2 more games in the late slate. Oh, for sure. 2 more games in the late slate. This one could be the game of the day. Let's talk about this one. The Packers in Lambeau hosting the Detroit Lions on the road here. Over-under set at 47. Lots of hype around the Packers, obviously, with getting Micah Parsons. We talked a little bit about what could happen with the Lions this season. Great year last year, lost both defensive and offensive coordinators in the offseason. We're going to find out today how much that has to play into what's going to happen this season. Game 1, big matchup, big rivalry, divisional battle. V, take it away. What are we looking at between your Packers and the Lions here?
So this was another game that I did write about. Go peep the scribbles for the full breakdown. But there's 2 plays that I'm looking at in this one. Without sitting here and harping on the Green Bay Packers, let's start it off with the Detroit Lions and their running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. All the hype that is coming out of training camp about this guy. It's not just training camp hype. It's about what he did last season. It's about how talented he is, how fast he is, and how great he is as a pass catcher out of the backfield. You got a new offensive coordinator that's coming in, and he's kind of made it clear we'll be using both running backs to the maximum we can. And I think that Jahmyr Gibbs over 22.5 receiving yards is a look I can't pass up on. Last season, he averaged 3.1 receptions per game, 30 receiving yards per game, and was one of their best pass catchers. But he was fantastic in his use out of the screens, out of the backfield. I absolutely love everything that is coming out of this Detroit team. And I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be at the head of it. I think over 22.5 receiving yards with the way that the Packers have added Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary on the other end. I think that pass rush is going to make a significant change. Last year in 2 games against the Lions, 2 total sacks. It was abysmal. Jared Goff had all day to throw consistently. And I think that's something that's going to have to change this year if the Packers want to win one, if not both of these games. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs over 22.5 receiving yards. And I got one more play on the Packers side. Romeo Doubs, over 37.5 receiving yards. This is a guy who was the leader in target share if you're looking at it on a per-game basis. Last season, they were decimated by injuries. And we can talk all day about Matthew Golden and how they put him up as a wide receiver 1. But Romeo Doubs is still the main slot receiver for this team. He has a great connection with Jordan Love. And I just think 37.5 is too low a line for somebody that is put up the target share he has, that has the rapport with Jordan Love that he has. And honestly, I think after the way last season ended, he's probably looking to have a little bit of a better year this year because of the injuries and everything that went down last year. So give me Dobbs over 37.5 receiving yards. And I think you're going to have to move the ball through the air against this Detroit team. Otherwise, you don't stand a chance.
I got questions for you, V.
Please.
Aiden Hutchinson, minus 110 for a sack. Micah Parsons, plus 130 for a sack. You compare them both together for plus 330. Or I can just take the game total for 5 sacks, minus 105. Guide me a little bit. What do you think I should take here? Because I'm taking a sack prop with Aiden Hutchinson and Micah Parsons in this game together. These guys are going to use this as a measuring stick. And Micah's going to want to fucking tackle Goff badly.
The reason I would, I guess, lean towards the 5 sacks, even though it is a much higher number than obviously just a single sack for the both of them, is just because of the attention that they demand on the defensive side, right? Mike is going to see a lot of double teams. Aiden Hutchinson is going to see a lot of double teams because if you're not doubling them, you're really not going to have any success. That's how good these guys are. Then you have other guys like on this Detroit defensive line and on the Packers defensive line that can get to the QB. And in a brand new defense with Detroit, we have no idea what kind of blitz packages, what kind of stuff is coming. And if we don't, neither do the Packers. There's no tape on this defense. There's no tape on this scheme. It's going to be interesting to see what this Detroit team does. And I think adding Aiden Hutchinson back, they could have 3 or 4 sacks that are on their own. We saw how much of a step back they took when he got hurt last year. I think this year with him back healthy, that Lions defense
he took Baker to fucking hell last year, bro. Before he got hurt, that guy was seeing the hell for sure.
Remember his interception too? Like the dude is just one of the most elite defensive players we've seen, and it's scary hours when he's on the field.
All right, half unit on 5 sacks. You convinced me.
Bang. Trish, you got any thoughts on this game?
So I don't know. I want to fade the Lions. I really want to fade the Lions, but Green Bay to me at this point, it's a little sus. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little sus. Like I wanted to so bad, and then they traded for Parsons, and the line has actually gone down, which I think is like kind of weird. You know, like they got a little better and the line dropped down a half a point or a full point or something like that. So I'm probably going to end up staying away from this game entirely. It kind of scares the shit out of me, if I'm being honest. I think the Packers should probably win. This is a perfect year for the Lions to take a step back, but I just don't know if they will. Under Campbell, he kind of seems like he just has a hold of that team. They lost their offensive coordinator, lost their defensive coordinator, but I think the culture has already been established there to the point where it might not matter that much. And again, Ben Johnson probably left his imprint on that team and on the under coaches of that team. So I think Ben Johnson's system is still going to be kind of in play over there. So I want to take the Packers, but I just don't think I can. I think I'm just going to leave this game alone. To be 100% honest, it wouldn't surprise me if the Lions end up coming out and do win this game. I would have been against it about 2 weeks ago, and I would have thought the Packers were going to roll here just based on the line, but it's too much Packer love out there, man. There's a little too much Packer love out there, you know.
From down there, especially.
Yeah, you want to play devil's advocate. I mean, the Lions money line's getting 70% of the tickets and 81% of the money. So technically the Lions is the public side, but I have seen nothing but Packer love. So I don't know who's taking the Lions to make the splits the way they are. Maybe it's just the general betting public, but it scared me enough to not want to play it.
Facts. I'm insane. I'm just going to watch this game. I mean, I'll be watching the Titans game and this one kind of on the other TV type of deal because this should be a banger. Absolutely. All right, boys, last game of the late window, and then we're going to cook our touchdown parlay, and then we're going to get out of here. We appreciate you guys sticking with us for the last almost 2 hours right now, talking through week 1 of the NFL. We're going to finish off the show in just a minute with a giveaway. Come and hang out with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/bettingnews if you want to be in the giveaway. And if you want to hang out with us, regardless of where you're watching, we appreciate you guys for kicking it for the last almost 2 hours. What's up, Triz?
I have the book in front of me with touchdowns open, and I have now seen Austin Eckler go from being plus 195 to plus 135, and now the favorite to score in the game.
First touchdown, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know what that exactly means. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
Shivers.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I'm not sure, but when we started this whole show, he was about the sixth favorite to score a touchdown today, and now he's the first. So could be good thing, could be bad thing. Now there's a lot of liability on him. I'm not entirely sure, but I still love it, and I guess some sharps do too. So
that was the plan too, but we absolutely ran out of time.
Yep. Yeah, we were going to have you guys on the show. We will have you next week, but as we're all excited, there's so much to talk about today, and the vibes are high. So we will promise we'll have that for you guys next week, but we have run out of time. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this last game. Brand. Absolutely. Yeah. Rams at home against the Texans. +3 of the Texans coming into this one. The Los Angeles Rams -3. Over-under set at 43.5 in La La Land. Matthew Stafford is good to go in this one. CJ Stroud looking to bounce back after a pretty poor sophomore slump. And boys, I'm going to lead us off. This is my favorite play today. This is my favorite play across the entire slate. Give me the Rams -3. I really like this play. I think they win by a touchdown here. I'm not high on this Texans team this year. I think that their offensive line could end up being one of the worst in football. And I don't know what we're going to see with CJ Stroud. Could he bounce back and play like he did in his rookie season? 100%. But they don't have a lot of pass catchers as well. Nico Collins is obviously very good. Christian Kirk is a good wide receiver too as well. But I'm just concerned about this Texans offense. I don't think that their defense is going to be able to serve enough. And I really like the Rams this year. They're my side piece for a reason. Matthew Stafford and company, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyren Williams is also somebody that will be my touchdown leg for the parlay today. -125 to score a touchdown, which that's a sus line in my opinion too. I think this guy gets into the end zone. I really like this Rams offense. I think they're going to hum today from the beginning, and I think that they get the job done and cover the 3, and I think they actually win by a touchdown plus. So give me the Rams -3, and I do like Kyren as well, but I'll talk about that when we do the touchdown parlay.
I like that a lot too. I have one play in this game, and it's Devontae Adams, +140 to get in the end zone. I think that this guy is still one of the best route runners in all of football. I think he's one of the premier red zone threats when you get down in that area. And I think it's exactly why they brought him in here. Cooper Kupp was fantastic. And I think you are replacing an injured Cooper Kupp with a Devontae Adams that had 13 touchdowns, I think, last year. And he had 9 of those touchdowns at the end after the trade. This is a guy who, when he's playing with an elite QB, puts up elite numbers. Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, I don't know, feels like a good, step to take. So I'm happy with it. I think that Stafford's going to feed this guy this season, especially when they get into the red zone.
I'll touch on that. I did about 4 fantasy drafts this year, and I saw Puka Nacua go in the early second round or the late first round in every single one and laughed every single time it was picked. Every team Devontae Adams goes to, he is a target machine. And if anything, Matt Stafford is probably one of the better quarterbacks he's played with in 5 to 6 years. He's going to get fed the football. That is what is going to happen over there. Just like Puka Nacua was getting fed last year and Cooper Kupp wasn't getting that much of the target share, I think it's going to be almost the exact same thing. Devontae Adams is one of, if not the best route runner in the NFL. When you have Matt Stafford, a guy that can just dot up almost every single defense, has great vision, has great experience within the NFL, I think Devontae Adams has a great year. I think he's going to be the actual wide receiver 1 for the Rams in fantasy terms, in actual game terms. I think he is the wide receiver 1. He's going to finish with more catches and more yards than Puka Nacua.
Wow. That's a bold statement. That's a clippable moment right there, dude. If that ends up smacking, then holy shit. Do you like the Rams in this game then? Do you feel that? Do you like that side too, or do you not want a side involvement?
It's kind of tough, man. It seems too easy to me. I really like the Rams this year in general. I think the Rams win that division, actually. That's truly how I feel. I think the Rams win the entire division. I think they're going to be a lot better than people are giving them credit for. And it goes down to Devontae Adams and having that connection with Matt Stafford. But 3 points against a really hurt Texans team that wasn't that good last year when the Rams got only better in multiple facets of the game. sus to me. I think I would like this more if it was 4 or 4.5. Then it would tell me a little bit more. The fact it's 3 kind of tells me this might be a little bit of a slugfest, 2017 type of game, something of that nature, and kind of scares me off the spread a little bit.
I'm glad I got the 3. I wouldn't have liked the 3.5 because I think this could be a field goal game, and I'm happy to just take my unit back and put it in my pocket.
Yeah,
that's
but
fine.
if it was 3.5, I feel like I'd be more comfortable to take the Rams,
sure,
just because they're giving up that half, that key number. They won't get off that key number of 3, which to me, big red flag. So
facts. Guys, anything else on this game that we want to talk about? Anything else we want to touch on?
No.
Adams touchdown. Love Adams touchdown.
Yep.
Let's go. All right, chat. We have made it to the end of the slate review. We're not going to talk about Sunday Night Football. Well, there's a lot of time between now and tonight. Just follow all of us on social media. Follow us at bettingnews.com. Shaggy wrote about the game. You can go check it out at bettingnews.com there too. We'll be dropping plays and stuff like that a little bit later. So get involved with all of us on the socials, and we will drop some stuff for the Sunday Night Football matchup between the Bills and the Ravens. I'll just say this. It's King Henry rushing yards to the moon. Just get after that if you want to. Or let's cook our touchdown parlay, boys. We made it to that portion of the show, the favorite part of the show. Chad, if you don't want to tail anything else of any of us today, tail this parlay because we're going to have some fun. All right. Take it away.
This stresses me out, man. Every time. It's so hard.
I'll tell you,
one guy.
Jeff,
No, it shouldn't. We hit it. Dude, I was only a part of the show last year for like 6 or 7 weeks, and I swear we hit 3 or 4. So
I think it was 4, yeah.
We hit 4 for sure. Chef wanted BTJ, so Brian Thomas Jr. will be the first leg of the lay, which I feel like we can all kind of get on board with.
Yep.
The Jags are also up to 4.5 now, which is interesting.
Down to 4. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they down one.
There was 3.5 earlier.
Oh, interesting.
Moved a point. So BTJ to start us off.
The Bengals.
Oh, Bengals, yeah.
Bengals
all right, Brian.
5.5, yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr., leg number 1. Sauceman, you wrote about a bunch of touchdowns this week, so I'm sure you've got a few that you feel good about. Which one do you want to throw in here?
The other LSU boy, Malik Neighbors.
Neighbors? Get into it. Okay. Neighbors is plus 160. Oh, it's going to be juicy, boys. Triz?
Give me Ricky Pearsall.
Plus 210. Holy. Man. I thought you were going to say CMC.
No. I don't like how that's moved so much. He's probably going to get in with ease, but still, I don't like how it's moved so much.
Plus 240 for Pearsall. Suck?
Rashad White.
What?
Rashad White?
Yeah.
Jesus
Christ. What is that, like plus 500?
Suck. Are you kidding, dude? Was that a joke? Did you just wake up?
The backup running back for the Buccaneers.
He was the lead back for fucking 2 years. They're not gonna just
and then Bucky and then Bucky came along, bro. Like,
all right, fine. No, Rashad. Then what do you guys want Yeshivas or? This is why I don't like to do this.
He says so much about Bucky Irving and then comes in with fucking Rashad White.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Okay,
Rashad White is definitely scoring now, chat. Just FYI.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Not White. We can go juicy with Evans.
Like Evans?
I like Evans today. I do like Evans today. I think there's a shit ton of Mika Buka love fans.
He's not happy.
Not having it.
Chat, what do you guys think?
I feel like we can do Evans.
No,
I feel like we can all feel good about Evans.
I'm with V. Let chat pick the 4th leg. Leave me out of this.
Oh my! No. The chat's not picking the 4th leg. I just want to know if they agree with Rashad White.
Do we want to go Rashad White or Mike Evans, chat?
Oh my God!
Or the kid.
Mike Evans.
Egbuka.
Mike Evans. Oh my God.
Egbuka.
I've seen so much Egbuka love today. I just would prefer the veteran that has done it for 10 years, And
Baker says it himself. If we're in the red zone and it's 1-on-1, he's just gonna throw it at Mike. He doesn't give a shit.
Mike Evans.
And let's be real. Who's covering him over there? So
Mike Evans and then Kyron Williams. Is that how we're finishing this? 5 legs?
I mean, without Kyron, just the 4, it's plus 43.75.
Yeah,
I'm down for the 4.
Let's
Four
just
wideouts.
Four.
I would be really sick if Kyron Williams at minus 120 blows this. Like that
Agreed.
would be nasty work.
Agreed.
So let's just leave it.
Look, that was such an evil cackle. That was so evil.
I am taking
let's do
Rachaad
it.
White to score a touchdown today, though.
Yeah,
just
everybody
because we
bet
all shit
Rachaad
on
White
it.
straight,
Right?
please, right now. Go put a quarter unit on it, so you're not. So
Back
then
fumble
Sook
right here, but go bet it solo.
Go bet it solo. You guys can all clip it the moment when Sook said it, and then you can highlight the play when Rachaad White rumbles into the end zone.
Can you guys, if you're still in chat and Rachaad White scores, please film Sook's reaction. Please.
I thought you were
You
going
know
to say
I'm not
something
watching
else,
Red Zone. I'm
but-
watching that fucking game solo.
Red zone's for crackheads, remember?
Yeah.
All right. First Gridiron Gang touchdown parlay of the year. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, Mike Evans. All 4 wideouts, boys. The wideout brigade. All wideouts to get into the end zone plus 43.75. Bing, bong, bang.
Ooh, shop
All right.
around. You're getting much better odds than I am.
I had a bonus bet, so I just wanted to use it where I was at right now, so it made sense. All right, chat. Boys, we're so back. Sook, we love you. Everyone go bet Rachaad White touchdown for the vibes. Please and thank you. We appreciate all you guys for tuning in for Gridiron Gang. We're so back. Week 1 in the books. We will be kicking off this. The week 1 will be kicking off here in 20 minutes. So go get involved. Go get all of your wagers in. We're going to drop the parlay on the timeline if you want to tail us. Give us a follow at Your Betting News. Go check out Trizzy as well at Trizzy_bets. Go follow Vsauce and all of his scribbles at bettingnews.com covering the NFL for us at Vsauce with 3 A's. Go follow Just Sook for all of the Yoshi Voss and Pat Fryermuth and Rachaad White love that you could ever want in your heart and soul. And go follow me at Sweatpants Jesus. Go get involved with all of us all across all the socials here, there, and everywhere. And if you're first here, for the first time ever, follow us right here on Twitch and on YouTube. We appreciate it so much. It helps grow the channel even further, and we want to do this more and more for you guys on the free and on the regular. I'll read the parlay one more time. It will be posted in just a few minutes. Brian Thomas Jr., touchdown. Malik Neighbors, touchdown. Mike Evans, touchdown. Ricky Pearsall, touchdown. Let's get to Pearsall, boys. Let's get through the first 3 ones. Get to Pearsall and then sweat out old Ricky P to walk out to the mini men and score a touchdown. I'll make a video if Ricky Pearsall gets us home. I'll make a video and the background music will be Mini Men. That's how we can do this. Big vibes. Let's absolutely go. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes, boys. You guys got anything else before we hop up on out of here?
First Sunday of the year, boys. Let's have a
Bucks.
day.
Baker's gonna fucking truck some dummy for sure.
Oh, and then you're gonna text us and you're gonna send us the recap of the whole thing. I can't fucking wait. All right, you guys came for the winners. You stayed for the vibe. So a fantastic Sunday. Enjoy the football out there. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Take it easy. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
rolling.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about